Welcome to Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Excited to be here today with a Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Hello, everybody. I'm the voice of the Smart Modified Tour, Bob Dillner, and we have a stellar day in store for everyone at this famous facility in Southern Virginia. This racetrack, known as many different names throughout the years, most known as Motor Mile Speedway, just up until about last year, but now Pulaski County Motorsports Park. 15 degrees of banking in the corners. This is a paper clip with banking. Just think about Martinsville on steroids. We're going to see some great racing action. Coming up next will be the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic qualifying with 25 cars in the pit area. Last night, the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour ran at historic North Wilkesboro Speedway in the foothills of North Carolina. Matt Hirschman from Northampton, Pennsylvania, went to Victory Lane, went up the elevator and drove right into Victory Lane. He's going to try to do that in 2 consecutive days because he is here with his black number 60 car, one of the most decorated modified drivers over the course of the last couple of decades. Matt Hirschman, Big Money Matt, is here today at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. 2 laps for qualifying for each car here today. Sam Ramo in the 06 machine, fastest in practice earlier today for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. We take a look at the point standings heading into qualifying today at this racetrack. Burt Myers out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, leads the brigade here with just a few races to go in the season for the Smart Modified Tour by 37 markers over Winston-Salem, North Carolina's Brandon Ward. Myers with 3 wins this year. Brandon Ward with a pair of victories. A single win for our 3rd place point man, Caleb Heddy. He sits 72 points behind the top pair right now. Carson Lofton, the 15-year-old phenom from Lexington, North Carolina, sits 4th in the series standings as a rookie. He's tied with Joey Coulter, the former NASCAR Truck Series winner, in the 5th spot. 6th is Bobby Labonte, former NASCAR Cup Series champion. In that 6th spot, Brian Lofton, a very decorated race car driver in the Southern Modified Wars and a former winner here 2 times over at the old Motor Mile Speedway. Brian Lofton, 7th in points. 8th, the Rocket, Tim Brown, the 12-time Bowman Gray Stadium track champion. 9th, Bobby Meismer Jr. And 10th, Jeremy Gersner, the Flying Floridian, in the 55. We are told just a few moments before we get set for qualifying here today at Pulaski County Motorsports Park, and you look up at the sky, you see blue skies overhead with those puffy white clouds. Just a picture-perfect day for racing here on a Sunday. A little bit out of the norm here for this region, and modified racing in the South. Have had some great races so far this year, and the first car is now up on the racetrack for qualifying, and it is the series point leader coming into this race. Burt the Ace Myers out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and the Citra Safe Cleaners Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas PSR machine, that number 1 for Burt Myers. 3 wins this year, the 2-time series champion, hoping for another victory. That would make 4 on the year. We'll see what Burt Myers does here during time. First car out in the racetrack, time of 15.401 seconds. First lap for Burt Myers. Ran as high as 3rd last night at North Wilkesboro Speedway in North Carolina before having some difficulty in fading back. Second lap on the racetrack for Burt Myers, 15.304, just a little bit better on that second lap for Burt Myers. Now up on the racetrack out of Tobaccoville, North Carolina, in the Jerry Hunt Supercenter Amsoil Hayes Jewelers machine. Mike Andretti owns that race car, and that's a good-looking ride for the 12-time Bowman Gray NASCAR Modified champion in the 25 for the Rocket, Tim Brown. Tim Brown so successful at the tight quarter mile in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, looking for his first victory of the season on the Smart Modified Tour. He's come close on a couple of different occasions, and he's a 2-time Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner so far this year on the Smart Modified Tour. 15.318, the first lap, and that will be the best lap for Tim Brown. 15.318, second quick to Burt Myers. So far, just 2 cars deep in qualifying. Next driver heading into turn number 3 right now out of Shelbyville, Kentucky. Yes, he's the Kentucky kid and a darn good race car driver for the defending series champion of the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic in that Mohawk Northeast. Willwood Brakes Racing Electronics, Tommy Baldwin Racing 7NY for Caleb Heddy. Caleb Heddy, first lap on the racetrack, 15.390, 15.390 for Caleb Heddy. Second lap looks good down in turns 3 and 4. Nice and easy on the bottom, a little bit sideways coming off the corner for Caleb Heddy, but Caleb Heddy does move to second quick, 15.315 for Caleb Heddy out of Kentucky. The number 21 out of Lexington, North Carolina, and the Jerry Hunt Super Center, Yates Grading and Excavating Machine, Jimmy Wallace for the Tutterow Racing Machine. That's a Fury race car. Jimmy, 6th place in this race 1 year ago for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, right here at what was known then as Motor Mile Speedway. Pulaski Motorsports Park providing a great scene today for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. And Jimmy Wallace shows that he's good. He pulls off the racetrack after only 1 lap, and that's because he's top of the board. Jimmy Wallace, 15.302, top time so far. Only 4 cars into qualifying here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Impressive run for the veteran Jimmy Wallace. Now on the racetrack in that red number 23 out of Lexington, North Carolina, and the L&R Transmissions, LeBlue Bottled Water PSR machine for Carson Lofton. Just 15 years old. That second place run at Hickory Motor Speedway earlier this spring, knocking on the door for his first victory on the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, and he's number 1 in qualifying so far. 15.217 on his first lap. Carson Lofton, very quick. His dad, a former winner here at this racetrack. Carson Lofton, can he be even better on his second lap? Yes, indeed he is. 15.188, 15.188, almost 0.2 of a second over Jimmy Wallace, who sits in second right now. So we go from son to father. Driver of the number 15, also out of Lexington, North Carolina, and the L&R Transmissions, Steve Tires and Automotive, Unique Coatings, Shady Grady Racing, Troyer Machine for Brian Lofton. Brian Lofton, a 2-time winner in tour-type modified competition here at the old Motor Mile Speedway. A little wiggle off of turn number 2. That's going to hurt him on his first lap. We'll see if he can rebound, or maybe it was so quick that he was so fast he wound up with a little wiggle coming off the corner. No way. 15.307, good for 4th quick so far for Brian Lofton. Very tight from 2nd to 4th. Second lap, nice and smooth off of turn number 4. And Brian Lofton goes to 2nd quick. Son and father, 1 and 2 so far. 15.241 for Brian Lofton to his sons, 15.188. Now on the racetrack, he won last night at North Wilkesboro Speedway. He's out of Northampton, Pennsylvania, in the Boykin Spaniel Rescue, Goya Trucking, Florida Connection, Long Island Mod Maniac Troyer Machine for PD Motorsports. It's the 60 of Matt Hirschman. It's been a year for Matt Hirschman. Double-digit wins for him in modified competition, one of them coming right here on the Smart Modified Tour, and he goes to the top of the board on lap number 1. 15.175 for Matt Hirschman. Smooth on the throttle. He gets it hooked up coming off the corner, and just a little bit better on that second lap. 15.069, almost in the 14-second bracket for big money, Matt Hirschman. Next driver on the racetrack out of West Hampton, New York, now lives in Maryland in the West Wind Tree Farm. RGR Services Spafco machine. It's the 8NY for Wes Gilbert. Wes Gilbert, a former modified competitor at Mahoning Valley Speedway in Pennsylvania. Really cool circular quarter-mile racetrack. Matt Hirschman has won a bunch there as well. Let's see what Gilbert can do during qualifying. First time, 15.873, 15.873 for that driver, originally out of New York. Beautiful area of New York as well on Long Island, West Hampton. Rich people live out in the Hamptons. Gilbert, best lap on his first lap, that 15.873. He will remain 8th quick. Gilbert pulls onto pit road. We will now send our attentions to turn number 3, and that's where you find the 02 machine out of Miami Springs, Florida, in the A-Shock Torch Eyewear SRI Performance Coulter Motorsports Development Fury machine. He debuted that just about 2 months ago for Joey Coulter, the former NASCAR Truck Series winner. Coulter looking to break a bad luck streak of the last couple of races here on the Smart Modified Tour. Coulter 8th quick, 15.413 on his first lap. Needs to stand on the gas coming off of turn number 4 this time around. Much better. Let's see if he improves in his time. And he does, but he doesn't improve his position. 15.367 for Joey Coulter. He will remain 8th quick. You want to talk about a hotbed area for modified racing? Look no further than the area that this next competitor goes to. Actually, it's not going to be Andrew Krause, so we're going to go a little bit out of order here. The number 5 now on the racetrack, and his family has been involved in racing for so long out of Statesville, North Carolina, in the Mark III Financial Buzzy Racing machine for Tommy Buzzy. Tommy with a great run earlier this year at South Boston Speedway. A runner-up finish, looking for win number 1 on the Smart Modified Tour. 9th quick, first lap, 15.667. And folks, the sun has come out here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park, and that might be slowing down this racetrack ever so slightly. Harsh, sunny conditions here at this beautiful facility. Buzzy, best lap, 15.492. Good enough for 9th quick so far here in qualifying. And now we'll talk about an area that is a hotbed for modified racing. Talking about New Jersey, and that's where our next driver comes from. A winner at Wall Stadium. You talk about tough places in modified competition. Andrew Krause, one of those drivers. We call him the New Jersey Speedsters. He's in the Supreme Manufacturing. Pete and Elda's Bar and Pizzeria sounds like a place I would like to go to. He's in that number 24. Andrew Krause coming around to take the white flag, making his first attempt here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Krause first lap, 15.603 for the Jersey driver. One more lap and he goes way up the racetrack. Andrew Krause almost into the wall. Tough break, and he's got a right front down on that number 24 car. Good looking ride. Saw him go right there in the middle of 3 and 4 and slid up the racetrack, and it's because that right front tire was down. That car will not turn with that right front down on that beautiful looking modified. Bad break for Andrew Krause here today at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Got to wonder with how low these cars are to the ground. Wonder if Andrew wants a little bit of a lift on the front side of that race car. Track safety team now going around to take a look if there's something on the racetrack. But the right front tire is down on the number 24 of Krause. So far in qualifying, Matt Hirschman on the point. 15.069 seconds. Carson Lofton is second. His father, Brian Lofton, in third. Jimmy Wallace, great run for Jimmy. Sixth place last year in this race. He's fourth quick so far in qualifying. And Burt Myers, the point leader of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, fifth quick so far for the top point man in the series. Sixth quick, Caleb Heddy in the 7NY, the defending series champion. Tim Brown in the 25, and that Jerry Hunt Supercenter machine, seventh quick. Joey Coulter so far, eighth quick. Tommy Buzzy in the number 5 machine, ninth quick. And then Andrew Krause with one lap on the racetrack, 10th quick overall. So got a text that there are possible mechanical issues as well as that right front tire down on Andrew Krause's machine. We'll see if we can find out a little bit more on what's happening with Andrew Krause, but that New Jersey Speedster, bad break for him in qualifying here at Pulaski County. Fans starting to make their way in after church here, of course, in this area, Southern Virginia, making their way out here. Smart Modified Tour race will be scheduled to go off at 4:30 p.m. today. So plenty of racing on hand with 3 other divisions as well. And it's been a great year for the Smart Modified Tour. It's been led so far by Burt Myers atop the series point standings and the wins category with 3 wins. Brandon Ward, second in points, the only other driver to have multiple wins with 2. Still plenty of racing to go after today. Next Saturday, under the lights at Tri-County Speedway in Hudson, North Carolina. So if you're up here today at Pulaski County Motorsports Park, hopefully we'll see you out there just down the road a couple of hours at Tri-County. It's about an hour, 40 minutes or so off the mountain of Boone, North Carolina, and probably about 20, 30 minutes from Hickory Motor Speedway. On October 14th, we'll be back at South Boston Speedway, the home of the Bologna Burger. The crate modifieds will also be on hand, as well as the Southern Ground Pounders. That's on a Saturday, October 14th. There you see Andrew Krause, indeed, with that right front tire down. I think he wanted that car off the ground and towed to the pit area so he doesn't rip off the front nose piece on that immaculately prepared number 24 car. In the final race of the season with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, we will crown the champion. And we'll have the Smart 3 stars going into that finale, vying for the championship. That'll be on a Saturday, October 28th in Rougemont, North Carolina, on the high banks of Orange County Speedway. Still plenty to go here in qualifying for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. So far this year, 2 poles apiece is what leads the way for drivers. Caleb Heddy and Tim Brown both have 2 apiece. They have already qualified here today, and they're not at the top of the board, so they will not add to their pole total. Good-looking shot there. This is a beautiful facility, by the way. You just got to love Pulaski County Motorsports Park. And there's so much talk about what's going to come of this racetrack next year. We certainly hope it continues because it is truly one of the finest short track facilities in America. I would rate it, honestly, top 5 on my, track list. And I've been to, I think it's now 309 racetracks, 0.416 miles in length, 15 degrees of banking in the corner, 7 degrees on the straightaway. And it looks like we're going to continue with qualifying here for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic after Andrew Krause had a tire going down. Out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in the KevinSaysYes.com. New Day Motorsports, Coulter Motorsports, Randy Renfro prepared machine. That's a PSR race car for Brandon Ward. Second in points for Brandon Ward with those 2 wins, as we just mentioned. We'll see what he can do. Coming down, J.B. Cole's got the white flag in hand. Brandon Ward, the winner of the last 2 Smart Modified races here at the old Motor Mile Speedway. 8th quick first lap, 15.346. Can he do better? Right down on the bottom groove, hard on the gas is Brandon Ward. And Brandon Ward leaps to 4th quick, 15.253 for this year's NASCAR Modified Champion at Bowman Gray Stadium. Last night had a great run going until late in the race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. He was in the top 10. and then unfortunate circumstances for him. Right now, this is a name we all know out of South Bend, Indiana, in the Pace-O-Matic Aggressive Hydraulics S&S racing car. That's a PSR race car for the Rocket Man, Ryan Newman, in the 39. Raced at the SRX race here earlier this year. Had a top 5 finish there. Became the SRX champion, and Newman uncharacteristically slower than we expected. 15.391, but qualifying is tight so far. We'll see if he can be even faster on his second lap. Newman crosses the checkered flag just a little bit better. 9th quick, 15.348 for the Rocket Man, Ryan Newman. A lot of eyes on the next race car that's heading out onto this beautiful facility. We'll see what he can do, because he was fastest in practice earlier today out of Westminster, Massachusetts, in the Hancock Lumber Flamingo Motorsports 06 MA. It's Sam Ramo. This car was hooked up earlier today. Flamingo Motorsports has been a big-time, long-time player in modified racing. Almost got that car jacked sideways in the corner for Ramo, and he's second quick on his first lap. 15.170, the fastest first lap so far during qualifying for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. He's never been here. Can he put it on the pole here today? No, he can't. Slower on the second lap. In fact, actually an identical second lap to his first. 15.170 for that driver out of Massachusetts. He's got to be happy with that. Second to big money Matt Hirschman so far in qualifying. New race car for Paul Hall, needing to get a push by his team out onto the racetrack for qualifying. Paul Hall out of Ferrum, Virginia, number 54 car. He's got a couple of starts in the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, but that was with Hillbilly Racing. Now this is his own ride, and it is sponsored by El Rio Mexican Grill in Rocky Mount, Westlake, and Roanoke, and Jose's Mexican Grill. Sounds like I'm getting hungry for some Mexican food here with the Smart Modified Tour qualifying today. Also, Graphics Unlimited, a proud supporter of Hall's number 54. 12th quick first lap, 15.478 for Paul Hall. Not a lot of laps in practice earlier today. He will remain 12th quick, 15.471, 15.471 for Paul Hall. I am excited for this next driver, one of the young guns coming out of New England, out of Newtown, Connecticut, in the Paul's Auto Center. Franzosa Trucking Machine for the 1CT of Steven Kopsick. Kopsick, a 17-time SK Modified winner at the famous Stafford Motor Speedway right outside of Hartford, Connecticut. A former SK Light champion as well at that racetrack. If you can run well at Stafford, you can run well just about anywhere. And Kopsick puts it number 10 on the board so far during qualifying. 15.320, 15.320 for Steven Kopsick. Kopsick hard on the gas underneath the checkered flag. Kopsick, though, will remain 10th quick, a little bit slower on his second lap, so that 15.320 on lap number 1 will stick for that driver out of New England. This driver had some power steering issues in practice earlier today. He was hard underneath the front nose piece of this race car to replace the rack on this machine. Out of Wesley Chapel, Florida, in that number 55 car, at a top 5 run here just a couple of years ago for the Flying Floridian, Jeremy Gerstner. Gerstner ran the crate modified race last night at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Now in the big time horsepower modified, 600 horsepower underneath the hood, these 15-inch tires. Gerstner, 13th quick first lap, 15.465 for Jeremy Gerstner. Gerstner coming to the checkered flag on lap number 2. And this sun beating down on the racetrack, just slowing it down for several competitors on their second lap. 15.445 for Gerstner, 13th quick. Another driver out of New York, out of Penfield in the Rocket Performance Parts, TFR and LFR, Finichario Motorsports machine for the number 8 of Chris Finichario. A former New York Super Stock winner, now trying his hand at modified racing. And you can see this car just about anywhere on the racetrack, no matter whether it's light or dark. Brightly colored number 8 machine for Finichario. 16th quick first lap, 15.550. Finichario, 7th last year here in this race. Finichario, 16th quick, 15.536 for the driver of the number 8 machine. Here we go. Last night he was helping his nephew Slate run a crate modified race at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Today he's behind the wheel of the cars that live by the grace of God and 600 horsepower at Walnut Cove, North Carolina. In the QRC number 4 for 4-time Bowman Gray Stadium winner this year, Jason Myers. Myers also with Greg Butcher trucking on that machine, hoping for a good run in qualifying. 13th quick first lap, 15.389 for Jason Myers. Third here during the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour days back in 2006. Jason Myers jumps up to 6th quick, 15.281 for Jason Myers. Good run for the driver of the number 4. Here's what a lot of people have been waiting for out of Corpus Christi, Texas. In the Cookout Coca-Cola Units Moving and Portable Storage Pace-O-Matic machine for Hermie Sadler and Bill Stanley. PSR race car, that's the chassis, a Tony's race engine underneath the hood. Neil Cantor, the crew chief on this car, the number 18 for NASCAR Hall of Famer, Bobby Labonte. First lap complete for Bobby Labonte. 14th quick, 15.420 for Bobby Labonte. He's got to pick it up on that second lap. He wants in the redraw. We'll see if he can do it. We'll talk about that coming up. Everybody battling for the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award. They are so tight here today. Tons of drivers in the 15.3s. And Bobby Labonte puts it 15.390, 14th quick for Bobby Labonte. Here's a guy I've been waiting to see for a long, long time. Had a tough break last night in the wall at North Wilkesboro Speedway in the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour event. He's out of Endicott, New York, a 9-time NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour winner in the V4 with Mystic Missile on the side of his race car, Tim Connolly. That Mystic Missile he drove for so many years for Bob Garbarino out of the New England area. Team had been based in Connecticut for so many years, and great to see Tim Connolly carrying on a tradition here with that yellow, black, and red number 4 car. Tim Connolly, 15.931 first lap, 15.931. He'll improve to 15.873 for Tim Connolly out of Endicott, New York. Connolly just 62 years young. Here's a guy that knows how to get around this racetrack out of Roanoke, Virginia, and the parts company. Hannah Bassett Road Collision. Mark Dowdy owned Fury machine for the 07 VA of Dennis Holdren. Dennis Holdren, former winner here in late models at this racetrack. We'll see what he can do here in qualifying with this modified, a little sideways coming off the corner. 15th quick first lap, 15.412. And today we honor Paul Radford as well. Radford, this race car, so famous around this area with so many drivers, Paul Radford being one of them. Holdren, best lap, second lap, 15.375, 14th quick for Dennis Holdren. Couple of cars left here in Pace-O-Matic qualifying for the Smart Modified Tour. Next up, tough competitor in that number 45 car. He hails from Burlington, North Carolina, in the Habit Bar and Grill. Still got to get there someday. PSR race car. His dad, Gary Young Sr., the car owner listed on that machine for former Ace Speedway champion in the Modified Wars, Gary Young Jr. Gary puts his left side tires below the white line going into turn number 1. Pretty much lowest that we've seen any competitor so far. A little bit tight coming off of turn number 4 for Gary Young Jr. We'll see what he can do here. Gary Young Jr., 15.768. 15.768 for the 45 on lap number 1. Had trouble. Was involved in an incident at Carteret County Speedway. Gary Young Jr. improves 21st quick, 15.629. But that car, a lot of repairs for that team coming into this race here today at the old Motor Mile Speedway at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Looks like we have 2 more cars to qualify, I believe. And right now on the racetrack, one of the true nice guys of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic out of Lexington, North Carolina, in the Jerry Hunt Super Center, Yates Grading and Excavating machine for Daniel Yates. Yates' best run so far this year, a 9th place run in the Warrior 100 at Caraway Speedway in Sophia, North Carolina earlier this year. Yates working on this car in the pit area, trying to dial it in during practice. Really out of shape off of turn number 4. That's going to hurt him a little bit. 15.601 for Daniel Yates on lap number 1. Knows he's got to pick it up here. That car does not want to turn. He gets on the gas to turn it. Going to be tough to beat that time. He does by just a little bit. 15.601. Fastest lap on lap number 2. That'll put him 19th quick so far for Daniel Yates. Final car to qualify, that red number 11 car. You see it's a PSR race car. A Better View, Glass and Mirror, Alliance Hose and Tube Works machine at High Point, North Carolina for Michael Rich. Michael Rich, a lot of experience here at this racetrack. A former Pro Cup South champion. Michael Rich has run some Pro Cup races here, a smart race, 13 starts in all here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park for Michael Rich. That PSR machine, 15.551 for Michael Rich, 21st quick first lap for Michael Rich out of High Point, North Carolina. Jeff Bunton holds the checkered flag, waves it. Rich, 17th quick, 15.468 for Michael Rich. So that will wrap up qualifying for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. And it'll be big money, Matt Hirschman, who wins the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award today at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Time 15.069. The only driver in the O's here today. Very fast for Matt Hirschman. We're going to wrap up qualifying here and then head to some other racing action. Second quick, Sam Ramo, who was quickest in practice earlier today. Time of 15.188. Excuse me, 15.170. 15.188. Carson Lofton in third. Brian Lofton, his father, in fourth. Brandon Ward rounds out the top 5. Looking at the top 10, Jason Myers in 6th, Jimmy Wallace in 8th. Great qualifying run for that driver. And Burt Myers in the 8th spot. Caleb Heddy and Tim Brown round out the top 10. But there's the car out of Northampton, Pennsylvania. The PD Motorsports machine, of course, his brother, Tony Hirschman Jr., spotting today, probably biting his nails, is at Talladega Speedway with the NASCAR Cup Series. But today, his brother, Matt Hirschman, the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner. Matt Hirschman, also the son of 5-time NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour champion, National Modified Tour champion Tony Hirschman, one of the best drivers to ever sit behind the wheel of one of these mighty modified machines. And his son starting to rival his father's accolades. One of the most successful drivers over the course of the last couple of decades. And it's been a pretty good weekend so far for big money. Matt Hirschman, that win last night at North Wilkesboro Speedway, won, I think it was last week or the week before, in the Race of Champions, the U.S. Open at Lancaster Speedway up in New York. Remember, he broke his arm back in August and is back racing already with a couple of wins already underneath his belt. Can he pick off a clean sweep of the weekend here in the South for Southern Modified Racing Competition? Thank you so much for joining us. We got the Modified Show coming up. 99 laps, the Radford race, honoring one of Southern Modified's greatest racers of all time, Paul Radford. We'll talk about that for sure as the night goes on, or I should say the afternoon here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. My buddy Wesley with us here today, and we got a lot of other racing coming up, but these ground pounders put on a show here at Motor Mile.
We love the modifieds, don't we? They're so fun and exciting. We got the mini cups coming out here. Hey, by the way, the mini cups are not as loud as those roaring modifieds. So I want to let everybody know that the drivers meeting in the infield will be at 2:45. That's about 15 minutes from right now inside the tech building. 2:45 in the tech building, 2:45 drivers meeting.
And we got a little treat for people here today. During driver intros, we usually play Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Yes.
But because we're just down the road, about 15, 20 minutes away from Virginia Tech University, enter Sandman tonight during driver intros for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic.
Only fitting. We done it during the SRX when we were on public address for the events here back in July, Bob, and it worked out perfectly, sir. And, man, what a beautiful day for racing. Sunny skies in Fairlawn. What do you call it? Picturesque Chamber of Commerce in the Commonwealth weather.
Now you sound like an announcer, for sure.
Yeah. Sunny skies, man. It's beautiful. 74 degrees. A daytime race, though, Bob. Let our audience know on Flow Racing what's different from under the lights in the daytime.
Oh, man, a lot. You know, normally we see most of the races on the Smart Modified Tour during nighttime conditions. The track, you know, it's a little bit cooler, a little bit faster. Yeah. Today it's slick and slippery as the sun beats down on this racetrack, and this is one with a lot of grip. Drivers say you don't have to conserve as much, but at the same time, you're going to be spinning that right rear tire with all that horsepower underneath the hood. It gets greasy, slimy. Just imagine your forehead. You walk out, and we know you sweat, right? You walk outside here today, and it's hot here today in Fairlawn, Virginia. You'd see Wesley just sweating all over this because he's a hard worker. And when he works hard, he sweats. Well, think about how slippery your forehead. You touched it right now. You can see it's getting slippery.
A little slippery.
That's
not that
what
bad,
it's
though.
like for all these drivers inside these race cars here today.
It is actually not as hot as it was back in July.
No,
we'll definitely say that much. But for fall conditions, it's pretty warm. That sun bearing down is what makes it feel so hot.
And it's really exactly as you said. The sun kind of beats on that racetrack.
That's right.
You know, and up north, I'm sure it's a little bit cooler.
Yes.
71 degrees here today. I will say it's a lot warmer here than it would be up on the mountain where I'm from Boone, North Carolina. So it's already getting kind of brisk up there in Boone. Now we're expecting possibly, they say, snow within the next 14 days in Boone, North Carolina.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yes. What do you think, Matt? Matt would put on that's our producer for Flow Racing here, and he'd probably put on his ski cap again.
He's got the whole Duck Dynasty beard ready for winter, so I mean, Matt's ready.
He's part of the Duck family there.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. He's like a multi-millionaire.
Chase's long-distance cousin.
That's right. He's going to have the Duck Dynasty 2 come back out, and Matt's going to take over the producing role, might make a cameo appearance or two.
Matt, my question is, where's Paul? Where's Paul, the camera guy from last night at Richmond Raceway.
He was with you?
Paul's been with me the last 2 nights.
Paul's on his way, I think, right?
I mean,
Paul's on his way. He's probably about 45 minutes out or so.
It's a drive from Richmond,
it is.
Kentucky. That's all I'm going to tell you. So.
We do have, listen, we got Blaze on camera right now. Paul will be here shortly. We have a drone today as well. So Philip Dixon are going to be providing that drone coverage. Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners, as well as Carolina Drilling, the presenting sponsors of our drone coverage here today for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. And that's what it's all about here today. A really exciting day for modified racing. This reminds me of when I was young. Yeah. And I've been around modified racing, honestly, since I've been in diapers.
Yeah.
Okay, and my dad would take me to the racetrack. Put me in one of those, you ever see those seat back chairs that kind of hook into the grandstands?
Yes.
Would take his belt off, put his belt around me, cinch it up.
You ain't going nowhere.
Nope, give me his old steering wheel from his old race car, and I'd pretend I was Fred Harback or Charlie Drzambach or Artie Tappan or George Bronhosel or whomever, okay? Some of my heroes growing up. And, modified racing is just special. And some of those big races would always be on Sunday afternoons. The old Spring Sizzler when Greg Sachs won it. Yeah. Or, maybe the Icebreaker or the 300 at Thompson Speedway in Connecticut. A lot of those big races, the Race of Champions. At so many racetracks like Pocono and Flemington and, they
New
were
Hampshire.
back. They were back during the day.
Yeah.
You still see some of those races at New Hampshire, obviously, in daytime conditions. Usually the precursor to the Xfinity or the Truck Series or the Cup Series.
Yes, sir.
But it's great to see that flair of daytime racing today at Pulaski County Motorsports Park.
It's amazing what Chris Williams and the staff with the Smart Modified Tour. I want to give credit also to J.B. Cole, Jeff Button, for what he's done. He's not a wrestler anymore.
Why'd you do that?
Well, J.B. Cole, is he still a wrestler?
No, he's no longer wrestling.
Jeff Button. It's got to be by his name, right?
Yeah. Chris Williams would be like, why are you giving him credit? Let me tell you something. JB is a worker. The dude,
he is,
constantly on the phone helping it organize everything. Chris goes out and, wines and dines all the sponsors to show them how big the Smart Modified Tour has become. And think about it.
Yeah.
The Smart Modified Tour this year is, quite honestly, and I'm going to sound like a homer, okay? But remember, I'm from the Northeast.
That's
I love
right.
the Tri-Track Series.
I think I know where you're
Stafford,
going
Thompson,
with this.
the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, you name it. But the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, is the most successful modified series on the pavement side with tour-type modified competition this year in America.
Yeah.
It has averaged more cars than any other modified series, right at 25 cars. The Modified Tour, as great as it is right about that 16, 17 car per event
they had an
average.
History night last night at North
They did.
Wilkesboro.
What, 38, 39
38
cars?
modified.
So nice to see. And we need all of these modified series to be successful because there's nothing like modified racing. Remember, NASCAR's oldest division before the Cup Series.
That's right.
Bobby Allison, so many other great drivers, Ray Hendrick, and we honored him at South Boston Speedway earlier this year with the Flying VA Classic. But paying tribute to the history, the heritage of modified racing is near and dear to the heart of Chris Williams, JB, Justin Mincy, so many others with the Smart Modified Tour. And I know my brother is here today with Flow Racing, and he flew from the BC39
from
last
Indianapolis,
night. And how about a big salute to all of you fans in attendance here today on this glorious Sunday for the Smart Modified Tour at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. The drivers inside their race cars, they will be lining up on the front stretch momentarily. We will go through that starting lineup and then have the command to fire engines here today at Motor Mile. Beautiful part of the country, Pulaski County, so much to do. We got baseball, we got parks, we got hiking, we got fishing, you name it. Come on out to Pulaski County and check out what there is with your family because you will not be disappointed. All the teams getting those cars fired. Sam Ramo in the 06, one of the first cars to fire, heading down pit road. Just momentarily, we will have driver intros. We have a special treat for you in grand style of this region because remember, Virginia Tech University, right down the road from here, about 20 minutes away. In fact, Jeff who works at Virginia Tech, He's here in the tower today. We're excited to have 99 laps worth of modified racing action with the Radford race today for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic.
Again, the schedule changed, as Bob reiterated on. The Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, will be the first feature event here in the afternoon at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. And again, Bob, 99 laps. And what's it going to be like for these drivers to be the first feature of the racetrack? No rubber put down by any other classes except from practice and qualifying.
It's greasy. Isn't that how they say it?
We talked about that in qualifying,
yeah,
right?
Greasy. That's how they say it. And you see right now the car is being led by the official pace truck of the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. And that is brought to you by AutosByNelson.com, Southern Virginia's largest auto group, with more than 1,000 new and used trucks and SUVs and cars. Check them out, Autos by Nelson. Also want to say a big thank you to MJ Printing and Graphics. Since 1983, MJ Printing and Graphics has provided affordable custom options for all your printing and graphic design needs, whether it be screen printing for clothing and apparel, decals, banners, vehicle wraps, you name it, for your car, truck, maybe even your motorcycle. MJ Printing and Graphics promises to deliver on what you want, because that's where it all starts. Let MJ Printing and Graphics bring your idea and design to life. Visit them online at mjcustomprinting.com. That's mjcustomprinting.com. It might not be the nighttime, but we are ready for racing today. Under the sun. A little inspirational music from Days of Thunder right here as we move all the cars to the front stretch. One of my favorite movies of all time. I can't wait for Days of Thunder 2 with Tom Cruise. He knows he needs to make it before he gets way too old, basically.
Same composer from Days of Thunder.
Oh, it's not?
Top Gun.
Oh, is it Top Gun?
Top Gun.
See, I'm sorry, but I'm not a Top Gun guy. My wife is. She loves Top Gun. A great movie, but to me,
I was
Days
playing
of Thunder
your Days of Thunder instrumentals when you were down there doing intros.
There you go.
Set the theme.
Yeah, thank you.
You
it.
got to play that opening theme of the movie for every big race on paper.
Absolutely. Want to remind everybody, as these cars come around, they're going to be lined up in the order of the results from qualifying, Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying for the Smart Modified Tour. When they pull off after the command to fire engines, the top 8 redrew a little earlier on today. You can check out those results on Smart Modified Tours, all their social, as well as social for Short Track Life, Twitter, Instagram, and also Facebook. And they already have the lineup of the top 8 redraw. We will go through that in the starting grid, but remember, they're lining up right now by virtue of qualifying results earlier today here at Motor Mile. And remember, folks, check out Short Track Life, a social media experience with Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and that's right, a YouTube channel as well, with coverage of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Short Track Life brings news, info, commentary, a whole bunch, including a behind-the-scenes perspective of the world we love, short track racing. Follow Short Track Life today on all forms of social media. And make sure you hit that like and subscribe button as well. Flow Racing, the official broadcast partner of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Great to have their coverage. Good-looking view right here of the Speedy Cam. I think that's Chris Williams standing in front of the camera, maybe? I'm not sure. No, I think it's Tucker. It might be Tucker standing in front of the camera right there. But you can see the Backyard Leisure Pools and Spas #1 for Burt Myers. Citrus Safe on the side of that race car. There he goes, walking down towards turn number 4, making sure that everything is lined up for today's race. The Jerry Hunt Super Center orange and white machine, that 25 car for the Rocket, Tim Brown. Tim Brown has come close a couple times this year, but has had some difficulty late in the race on several of these races. Daniel Yates in the 18 pulling off pit road. Andrew Krause from New Jersey. Good looking black and orange machine. That car is spectacular. Finichario in the number 8, Wes Gilbert in the black number 8 right there. And both drivers from New York originally. A couple of drivers will be going to the rear of the field today after qualifying for unapproved adjustments. Michael Rich in the number 11, the 54 of Paul Hall, and the 24 of Andrew Krause. Taking a look at the point standings coming into this one. Burt Myers leads right now by 37 markers over Brandon Ward. Myers will be on the pole for tonight's race, and Brandon Ward a little bit further back in the starting lineup. Said he did not qualify as well as he had hoped to, but Ward will have a good starting spot tonight after qualifying, fifth here tonight. Third place in points, Caleb Heddy, the defending series champion, has moved up to third after a good run, a podium effort at Carteret. Carson Lofton is in fourth, Joey Coulter in fifth, and sixth place, Brian Lofton, who is a two-time winner in Tour Type Modified competition here at Motor Mile. Now you're playing my music. Got to say thank you to everyone for Pace-O-Matic for being on hand here today. We're just about set to start driver intros tonight and show you the starting grid for the Radford race. 99 laps for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic.
Remember that feature order has changed. The Radford race coming up on deck in just a moment. 99 laps, Sportsman feature twin number 1, 35 laps, Super Street 30 laps. The Virginia Mini Cups, the penultimate race of the evening, of the afternoon, and then twin race number 2.
All right, it's that time to meet the stars of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic for tonight's the Radford race. 99 laps here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. And since we're right down the road from Virginia Tech, this has been the theme song as they have come out for football for so many years. A little change of pace for them this year, but we figured we'd bring it home since we're right down the road from Virginia Tech University. Starting 25th tonight, you will see him in a black and green car. He is out of New York in the 8NY for Wes Gilbert. Starting 24th, one of the most decorated drivers in Northeast Modified history, driving the Mystic Missile V4 here today out of Endicott, New York, the 9-time NASCAR Wheel of Modified Tour winner for Tim Connolly. To his inside, starting 23rd, a multi-time track champion in the Modified Wars at 8 Speedway in North Carolina. Driver of the Habit Bar and Grill number 45 for Gary Young Jr. One of the New Jersey speedsters on outside row number 11, starting 22nd. And the number 24, a winner at Wall Stadium in Belmar, New Jersey for Andrew Krause. Starting to the inside of row number 11. In the number 8F, a good-looking machine, a former New York Superstock winner for Chris Finichario. Starting 20th, a 9th place finish at Caraway Speedway in the Warrior 100 for Daniel Yates out of Lexington, North Carolina. And to his inside, starting 19th here tonight, the Buzzy Racing family has been important in so many different divisions of racing in the South. And tonight, in the number 5, it's Tommy Buzzy. Starting 18th in the number 54, making his first start in the Smart Modified Tour in his own car. He had run Hill for Hillbilly Racing. It's Paul Hall in the number 54. And starting 17th here tonight in the red number 11 machine. He's a former Pro Cup South champion and has run very well here at Motor Mile in the past. It's Michael Rich. Starting 16th, they call him the Flying Floridian, and he had a top 5 run a couple of years ago on the Smart Modified Tour here at Pulaski. In that 55, it's Jeremy Gerstner. And folks, put your hands together for the driver that is starting 15th here today. In the Cookout Coca-Cola Pace-O-Matic machine for Sadler Stanley Racing, it's NASCAR Hall of Famer Bobby Labonte. A former winner here at the Motor Mile Racetrack in late model competition. He is out of Roanoke, Virginia, and he will start 14th tonight in that infamous 07 VA for Dennis Holdren. If you're superstitious, you might not want to start 13th, but Joey Coulter is not, hoping to win from the 13th starting spot tonight in that Gray Ghost, the SRI Performance machine for Joey Coulter. Starting 12th here tonight in the number 39 Pace-O-Matic Aggressive Hydraulics car for SNS Racing. It is former Brickyard 400 and Daytona 500 winner Ryan Newman. And out of Connecticut, this guy is a 17-time SK Modified winner at Stafford Motor Speedway outside of Hartford, Connecticut. The 1 CT for Steven Kopsick. Now let's meet our top 10 starters here today. He's a 12-time NASCAR Modified champion at Bowman Gray Stadium in the Jerry Hunt Super Center. Andretti owned number 25 for the Rocket, Tim Brown. To his inside, the Kentucky Kid, driving the 7NY for Tommy Baldwin Racing, and the defending series champion for the Smart Modified Tour, Caleb Heddy. The top 8 redrew earlier today. They are lined up as they qualified, but we will tell you who the top 8 drivers are here today. And this kid was so good earlier today. Fastest in practice, qualified 2nd here today due to the redraw. He will line up 8th. It's Sam Ramo from Massachusetts in the Hancock Lumber, number 06, starting 8th. To his inside, a former top 10 finisher here last year at Motor Mile Speedway. One of the independent runners racing for Tutterow Racing in the 21. Starting 7th, it's Jimmy Wallace. Starting 6th, he's a 2-time winner in Tour Type Modified competition here at the Motor Mile Racetrack. A 9-time winner in Smart Modified Tour competition out of Lexington, North Carolina. Driver of the red and white number 15 for Brian Lofton. Starting 5th, he was the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner earlier today. The winner last night at North Wilkesboro Speedway and NASCAR Wheel of Modified Tour competition. In the number 60, starting 5th, it's Big Money, Matt Hirschman. Starting 4th, 2nd in points, coming into this one with just a handful of races to go. He is this year's NASCAR Modified champion at Bowman Gray Stadium and the most recent winner of the Smart Modified Tour, Carteret County Speedway. Driver of the number 2, a PSR machine for Brandon Ward. Starting 3rd, the youngest driver in today's lineup, just 15 years young, the son of Brian Lofton. We call him the Lexington Flyer for Carson Lofton in the 23. And tonight, we have an all-Myers front row for the Smart Modified Tours, the Radford race at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. On the outside of row number 1, after qualifying in the top 8, it will be out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, the 4-time winner this year at Bowman Gray Stadium in that number 4 for Jason Myers. And on the point, leading the field to the green flag for 99 laps tonight here at Motor Mile. Out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, he's a 10-time track champion at Bowman Gray Stadium and a 2-time Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic champion for Bert the Ace Myers. And that is your starting lineup for tonight's Smart Modified Tour event here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. We're going to go downstairs right now to hear the most famous words in racing as we're getting set to go battle for 99 laps.
I'd like to thank Chris Williams and the Smart Modified Tour from Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Chris, I'll turn it over to you for those famous words.
Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody being here. We finally got some sun out for the Smart Modified Tour. I want to thank everybody from Pace-O-Matic that's here to support our series and all of you fans. And a part of Pace-O-Matic's partners is Kenneth Collins from Collins Amusement. Here, Ken.
And I've only got 4 things to say. God bless our military. God bless this great country. God bless my beautiful wife and stepdaughter. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Music to our ears here on Flow Racing. The sound of 600 horsepower times 24. Somebody's going to have to do the math on that because I'm not that smart. But today we're going to see some great racing under sunny conditions at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. This is a .416 mile racetrack. It's kind of like 2 straightaways with 2 paperclip corners that are significantly banked. They call Martinsville the paperclip. This is paperclip with 15-degree banking. It's going to be a blast today here. Burt Myers, the series point leader, will lead the field to the green flag. Just a reminder, they're lined up now how they qualified. As soon as David Hoots, our race director, rolls them off, the top 8 will shuffle up and line up as they redrew. And that'll put Matt Hirschman in the 5th spot. Hirschman in that number 60 car. Nobody has been better than Matt Hirschman in modified racing over the last couple of decades. You talk about dirt late model racing, Jonathan Davenport. Nobody better than him over the course of the last decade with all of his accolades. But if you take a look at Matt Hirschman, the driver of that number 60, he is in a league by himself. Hirschman, if you think about it, how successful has he been? Not only on the local level, but on the national level as well. 3 wins this year on the NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour. 1 win in 2 starts on the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. But he also has wins at Tri-Track, the Race of Champions. In fact, he won the U.S. Open at Lancaster here recently. So, you know, Matt Hirschman is a chip off the old block. His old man, his dad, Tony Hirschman, a 5-time NASCAR Modified Tour champion. He ran for several different teams to accomplish that. One of the best in the business. And when I was a kid, watching Tony Hirschman, certainly one of those guys that you really admired behind the wheel. Not a big talker, not a flamboyant guy, just got the job done. And so does Matt Hirschman in that number 60 machine. He's lined up first right now because that's how he qualified. But in just a second, David Hoots will allow those teams to reassemble as they drew for starting position. He qualified in the top 8, he had to redraw. And Matt Hirschman will line up 5th here tonight.
Over 20-plus wins for the driver out of Northampton, Pennsylvania. Picked up that big win last night at the Brushy Mountain Motorsports 150 at the historic North Wilkesboro Speedway, and now looking to go back up north with another big win in Virginia.
I mean, think about how successful he's been. The most successful driver in the Race of Champions Modified Trail. 57 total wins there now. He's got 9 Race of Champions championships. He's got a ton of wins on the NASCAR Wheel Modified Tour, Tri-Track, MRS, you name it. Matt Hirschman's got it done, but I like the kid that qualified 2nd as well. Sam Ramo in that good-looking 06 machine. Won a Tri-Track race last year up in the New England area, and Ramo comes down here, family-run team, and fastest in practice. 2nd quick in qualifying. Hoping for a good run here today, and that driver in that 06 out of Massachusetts will start 8th in tonight's 99-lap main event.
Just before 5 p.m. Eastern time here in Fairlawn, Virginia. The weather forecast is sunny skies, abundant sunshine. It is 77 degrees. You see that sun gleaming, bearing down on the pavement here at the 16 degrees of Pulaski County Motorsports Park, and you said slippery, slick. Watch that race. It's going to be fun at the start.
And folks, right now, we want you to stand up. We need your help. It's time to get up on your feet and get out of your seat. We're at one of the nicest tracks in all of America, Pulaski County Motorsports Park, the old Motor Mile facility here in Fairlawn, Virginia. We have the fight song for Virginia Tech playing as these drivers will salute you. So folks, Get up out of your seat. Get on your feet. As the Smart Stars salute you, the best racing fans in America. Off of turn number 4. This is our salute to open wheels, to chrome horns and 600 horsepower. The ground pounders, the Mod Squad. This is the Smart Modified Tour. Here we go. 99 laps. It'll be a war today under sunny conditions at Pulaski County Motorsports Park for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. And all Myers front row. Bert on the inside. Brother Jason on the outside. Jason still has not won a Smart Modified Tour race. Folks, get up on your feet. By the grace of God, it's 600 horsepower. This is a Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. A little bit of a slip up by Jason Myers. Maybe a mischief, maybe spun those tires, did not get up to speed. Jason Myers back to the 5th spot. Bert Myers leads the opening lap. Carson Lofton hot on his heels.
In the sun, going into 1 and 2. The shade exiting down the front straightaway. We're watching the conditions change just at the drop of the green flag. What does it do to these open wheel cars out of 4?
Oh, as the tires wear even more, it's going to get more and more slippery on the racetrack. But there you see Bert Myers in that Citrus Safe. Number 1, backyard leisure pools and spas machine. And then the L&R transmissions car, the red number 23 for Carson Lofton. Think about it. Oh, the caution comes out. And damage I see on the front stretch. The 07 car heading into turn number 1 right there. Dennis Holdren out of Roanoke, Virginia. Some contact, I believe, with the wall because he has not only a flat tire, looks like maybe some suspension damage on the right front of that Mark Dowdy-owned machine.
Caution coming out for the first time here in the Radford race for the Virginia driver, the 07 machine. Again, he's going to come to the pits. That's heartbreak right here on the opening lap to have a problem, Bob.
Especially for Dennis Holdren.
Yeah.
He had this one circled on his calendar. There you see not only that right front tire down, but suspension damage. You can see it just right front. That might be terminal for that driver in the 07 VA. And that's a shame because today we honor Paul Radford. And Radford, this race car right here, the 07, the black car, so famous around the Southern Modified ranks. And Paul Radford ran the 07 for a period of time in his career, one of the most successful drivers to have run this car. So Mark Dowdy, jacking that car right now, trying to look and estimate what the damage is to the right front, but by the looks of it, it had significant damage there. And Dennis Holdren, a former winner here at Motor Mile in late model competition.
Yeah, done well in the fender cars here in the past in Fairlawn, Virginia, at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. We all know it as Motor Mile Speedway. The transition name just happened right before the summer. And again, a tough break there for Dennis Holdren, that 07 VA machine, putting us under the caution flag for the first time here in the Radford race here on a Sunday afternoon in Virginia. Again, caution coming out quickly. Bert Myers, the ace in the front.
And I got an eye on a couple of different drivers here. One of them, Brian Lofton, in the number 15 car. Brian Lofton has had a lot of success here. 2 tour-type modified victories, one in 2004 with the Smart Series, and one in 2005, back-to-back years. And that was with the NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour, but 8 races, 8 total starts for him, 214 laps led, those 4 top 5 finishes. I talked to Brian, I said, what is it about this racetrack? He goes, man, you can really stand on the gas here. This is my style racetrack. He loves the high banks. The tires don't wear out as much as some other racetracks, like we went to Carteret. It's by the beach. It's got the shells in it, kind of just like a cheese grater for those tires. But the tires will stay underneath you a little bit more as long as you don't punish the tires, especially that right rear. And the thing to consider here is that at some point during this 99-lap race, these teams will come down and they have the opportunity to change 1 tire. That's all they have in their pit. They can make adjustments to the race cars, but only 1 tire. Now I asked Bert Myers with, as the tire wear, can you go the whole distance? He said, absolutely not. And now Burt will lead the field back to the green flag here by our speed shot on Flow Racing.
Saw the number 2 of Brandon Ward for Joey Coulter Racing right there to the outside. He's got Matt Hirschman on the bottom. There's that 23. Carson Lofton. He's won here before in the Carolina Crate Modified Series, and he is digging hard on the bridesmaid spot on Money Hirschman in the 1.
But he's got the stealth bomber there. I mean, Matt Hirschman just so good at saving his tires, and now Lofton to the outside groove. Really aggressive in the early going. Here comes Sam Ramo just behind that. Look at that. Side by side for the 4th spot. Side by side for 4th, and Ramo going for that spot.
Oh.
He gets it. Brandon Ward up the racetrack, opens up the door for Brian Lofton in the 15.
Now Lofton and Ward battle alongside one another. That'll fan back.
Oh,
to the
contact.
foul, Tim Brown.
Contact between Lofton and Brandon Ward going into turn number 3. Side by side behind that, here comes Jimmy Wallace in that black and silver number 21. Wallace having his best run of the year, battling with the guy who is second in points, Brandon Ward.
You don't want to make too much contact with open wheel cars, though, right? The Nerf bars will only do but so much. They work off 4. Myers the leader. Lofton in second to the thundering herd. Roars back into turn number 1 and 2.
Ryan Newman climbing through the field as well. Keep your eye on that yellow and black aggressive hydraulics Pace-O-Matic number 39 for Newman. Newman could be trouble for the competition. Tested here recently, felt like he had a good race car. They came here, didn't qualify as well as he had hoped in that Pace-O-Matic pit party. He told us the car was way too tight. So they're trying to make some air pressure adjustments in that car. And here we go, Wesley. We got a battle for the lead. Carson Lofton looking to the inside of that number 1 machine of Burt Myers.
Not wasting any time at all. The Lexington Missile is working his way on the ace. That's Burt Myers as they work off 4. Peeks to the inside. Nothing there. Goes nose to tail in that car back to 1.
Lexington Flyer. There you go. Lexington Flyer for 15-year-old Carson Lofton in second, pounding the ace, Burt Myers.
Looks like a missile right now, David.
He is. You got to wonder, though, is he punishing his tires too much? Trying to go to the outside, inside, trying to get around Burt Myers. And remember, at the end of lap 30, that will conclude Bell Helmet's stage 1. And then these drivers are awarded a little cash bonus for their finishes in the top 3 by Bell Helmet. So thank you so much to Bell Helmets for being a supporter of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic.
Only 2 stages in the Radford race tonight here at Pulaski County. It's Burt Myers, Carson Lofton, Samuel Rayon, followed by, of course, Ramo,
Yep.
Matt Hirschman and Brian Lofton. We're working lap number 10 or 11.
I know you've been on the dirt announcing all those crate late model drivers. Coming back over
Ramo,
here.
Ramo,
we throw
Ramo.
you in a northeast name with the weird spellings. You never know what's going to happen. But right now, it's 2 Southerners that are out ahead of this field. Burt Myers from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and then Lexington, North Carolina's Carson Lofton. Yellow flag on the racetrack for the 2nd time in this race. And as we look around this racetrack, we're trying to figure out what it is for. I would assume maybe some debris spotted by David Hoots out on the racetrack, because I don't see a car stopped or slowed anywhere. We're going to try to get some clarification of why the caution here at this point of the race. And there was
Wes
a car
Gilbert,
stopped.
I believe, had a problem,
Yeah,
Bob.
he was behind the
There
tech
he is right
shed.
there.
Yep, behind the tech shed. We did not see him. Wes Gilbert stopped on the racetrack in turn number 2. So trouble for that driver out of New York early in the going.
Yeah, Wes Gilbert will put us under the 2nd caution flag. It is a solo yellow flag, just like what happened with Dennis Holdren earlier on the start of the race. They did get a good amount of laps in here now. We're working now 11 of 99, still about less than 20 to go in stage 1.
So let's give you a rundown of where they are right now at this stage of the game. We are only 11 laps into this race. Still plenty to go in this 99-lap affair. Burt Myers leads with Carson Lofton in second. Sam Ramo in that 3rd spot. Ramo in the 06 machine. Good run for that Massachusetts speedster. Matt Hirschman out of Pennsylvania is in 4th. And Brian Lofton, also out of North Carolina, in that 5th spot. Jimmy Wallace, who finished 6th in this race 1 year ago, having another good run in 6th once again. So Jimmy Wallace out of Lexington, North Carolina, as well in 6th. Ryan Newman, Indiana driver, in 7th. Brandon Ward, North Carolina representative, right there in the number 2 machine in the A spot. Florida driver Joey Coulter in the 02 is 9th, and New Jersey racer Andrew Krause already up to 10th after starting deep in the field with that good-looking number 24.
Tim Brown currently 11th right now. Bobby Labonte in the 12th spot. Caleb Heady, former series champion on the Smart Modified Tour, is in 13th. Stefan Kopik is in the 14th spot. Michael Rich is 15th. Daniel Yates, Jeremy Gersner, the Floridian, is in 17th. Chris Fonicherio is in 18th. Jason Myers, 19th. Tim Connolly, your top 20. And right now, again, Paul Hall on the lead lap at 21st. Problems for Wes Gilbert as well as Dennis Holder.
So we've got Blaze and Paul on camera today for Flow Racing. Thank you to both of you for your hard work here today and allowing us to show you this Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. We will have we're scheduled to have a drone as well, brought to you by CitraSafe as well as Carolina Drilling. We'll get that to you as soon as possible. We're trying to figure out some scoring here to get you a ticker on the screen as well. There's the number 4 machine. What a story for Tim Connolly. Gave up racing for a long time. Former football player in high school and college, and he is behind the wheel of that Mystic Missile V4. He formerly ran for Bob Garbarino on the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour, 9-time winner there. He's won a couple of race champions races as well. We're getting ready to get back to green here as it's Myers and Lofton still. Watch that row right behind there, Ramo and Hirschman.
Back to speed into 1. Myers on the bottom. Gives him plenty of room for Lofton up top. Well, that goes on, waiting patiently in that 3rd position as that driver, Rayon. And Ramo on the bottom. Ramo.
It looks like
for 2nd.
Something different, but it's Ramo.
It's Ramo.
Absolutely. So, nose to tail. Myers, Lofton, Ramo in that 3rd spot. We go back a little bit further. No, we don't. Battle for the lead. Contact in turn number 3. Lofton on the inside of Burt Myers for the lead in the Radford race at Motor Mile.
Will we see a lead change on lap number 13? Here comes Lofton on the bottom. Now the outside lane will go to Myers. Ramo not even in this battle. They are side by side. Here comes Ramo now out of 4.
Carson Lofton trying to get the lead here, but look at Myers battling strong on the outside. So strong is Burt Myers in that machine, he finally gives it up. Carson Lofton to the front. How about that? Carson Lofton leads his first laps here in Smart Modified Tour competition at Motor Mile.
The Lexington Flyer up in front. I don't even think his dad's got a nickname. He's got one though.
Oh, Flying Brian, right?
Son Lofton,
what you call
got
all
it
Brian.
going. Flying Brian. It just works that way.
Yes.
Flying Brian. The 23 though, up in front. Look at this. Biggest win of his career here at Motor Mile, besides when he won last Memorial Day in the Carolina Great Modified Series. Right now, he is leading the pack into 1.
So there you see, we're going to work outside the top 5 a little bit right now while they're just single file. Ryan Newman now has climbed up a little bit. Newman having a good run. He's up to 5th. There is Brian Lofton right behind that in the 6th spot. But look at that gaggle of cars right behind that. Right behind Lofton in that 15 is Brandon Ward in the number 2 machine. There he is with Joey Coulter. Those are both Coulter Motorsports machines. Brandon Ward in that brand new PSR machine, the number 2, and Joey Coulter in the 02. Ward has won twice already this year. Coulter, very hungry, has not won a race this year. Has come close on a couple of different occasions. He's a 2-time winner in the Smart Modified Tour. And then Andrew Krause having a heck of a run right now. Right behind that 02 is the 24 of Andrew Krause. Krause running up there right now in the 9th spot. So great run for that driver with so much success up in the Northeast, especially at tracks like Wall Stadium in Belmar, New Jersey. Behind Krause, though, Steven Kopsik also having a good run, solidly in the top 10 right now for that driver in the 1CT. Some good-looking cars right there between the 24 as well as Kopsik. Ramo to the inside of Myers, battle for 2nd.
That was going on for that 2nd spot now. Ramo clears him, open the door. Here comes Matt Hirschman. Had to check up there and go to the binders just a moment as they go into turn number 3, single file.
That Backyard Leisure Pools and Spas number 1 of Burt Myers closed the door quick on Matt Hirschman in the 60. Hirschman looking to make that outside to in maneuver, trying to get it off the corner. There is the battle for the lead. Ramo to the inside, charging hard. Pushes it into the lead. How about that? Sam Ramo to the point in the Radford race.
Is that Connolly's in trouble?
Yeah, Connolly with some trouble slowing on the inside of the racetrack. Looks like he's going to pull to pit road and get out of harm's way. Ramo up front here early in this one. 24 laps complete, now 25 at Motor Mile. Hirschman to the inside. He finally gets by Burt Myers. Here comes Newman. I say that because of the Seinfeld reference. Get it?
And by the way, the SRX champion of 2023, SRX was here back in July at the Motor Mile Speedway at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Got to think, Bob, okay, different cars, but can you take anything from that SRX July event for the Mod Show?
No, not at all.
Throw it out the window.
Here comes Hirschman to the inside of Carson Lofton. Did Lofton push it a little bit too hard, too early here? He's starting to fall by the wayside in the top 5. Ramo by, Hirschman by, Newman by. Now here comes Burt Myers trying to get back by Lofton. Remember, they swapped the top spot earlier in this race.
3 laps to go, down 2 to go when they flash under the flag stand, soaring off into turn number 1 in stage number 1. And right now, Samuel Ramo leading the way off the corner. 2 car leads back. Matt Hirschman, winner last night at North Wilkesboro. Many wins on the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, and looking to try to go back to Pennsylvania with all the money in the South.
Let's go back to the front. The leader, Sam Ramo, in that 06 machine. He's going to bring it to the stripe, this time by to complete Bell Helmet stage number 1 for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. You see the Bell Helmets, pink and white flag. JB Cole is waving to indicate stage 1 is complete after 30 laps, thanks to Bell Helmets. Sam Ramo wins that. He'll pick up a little extra cash for on his trek home to Massachusetts. Matt Hirschman now running in second. Hirschman said he's got all the kids in the family with him.
Yeah.
They got to go back overnight because he's got to get the kids back to school.
I like the new touch. For years, you had the Jerry Hunt Super Center stage break with the orange and white flag. Now you got Bell Racing Helmets, which has been a part of the racing world of the industry for hundreds of years. It has to have been, man. And a pink and white flag there to end the stage. Money easily going in Samuel Ramo's pocket here at the end of stage 1.
And listen, if you're looking for an opportunity to get your name out there, your company, or whatever it may be, certainly look at the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic for 2024. A lot of plans already in the works with some big racetracks supposedly on the schedule for next year. We're excited about that. Looking forward to announcing that schedule in the weeks or month to come, but a lot of big things happening. Remember, the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, the most successful tour modified series in America right now.
And the season's not done yet.
Absolutely not. We're looking forward to a couple of races coming up next week. Saturday night, Tri-County Speedway in Hudson, North Carolina, just down off the mountain from Boone and just up from Hickory, right in the middle basically. And you're going to see some good racing action there. A lot of cars coming down pit road right now to the attention of their teams, including some of the top runners, including the top 2 point chasers in the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic on pit road right now. Burt Myers, the number 1. He's pitted, I believe, closer to the backstretch. I saw him stop back there. And then there's Brandon Ward, second in points, the most recent winner in the Smart Series in that number 2 machine for Coulter Motorsports.
Caleb Heddy, Jeremy Gerstner, Daniel Yates, Jason Myers,
Tim Brown,
Chris Finicherio, all of them coming in for service.
Now
There's
just mind
Brandon
you,
Ward.
as we look at this, there is no tire changes going on right now, okay? They are making some adjustments to the handling of that race car. Yep. That is fine. They could change the tire right now if they wanted to, but then they wouldn't have a tire later on. There's Finichario in the number 8. Good-looking machine for him. He pulls off a pit road. Daniel Yates, the 54 of Paul Hall, making his first start of the season. Lots of nice-looking race cars here. Jason Myers, who started on the front row on the outside of his brother Bert, but faded quickly. That car not to his liking. You see Panda and the boys, that team, going to work to try to change the handling characteristics, make it more comfortable for Jason to drive around this racetrack. Jason, back in, I think it was 2006, finished on the podium in a NASCAR Whelen Southern Modified Tour race here.
Push to get Jason Myers back going off pit road. Jeremy Gershner, others that pitted. Some taking tires. It looked like, for the most part, though, Bob, it looked like just handling
tires?
Adjustments. Maybe a move, and I don't think anybody for the most part. Maybe I think one car I might have saw maybe take a tire.
Okay.
I think Jason Myers.
It's early in the race to be taking tires, so
It's too early right now.
that'll be a big surprise. Definitely different strategy, and he could be playing the track position game as well. Stop at lap 30. You got 69 laps to go. Who knows?
So can you take a tire off, Bob, and make an adjustment, like with the rotor or the shocks or anything like that, if you want to do that? But you got to put that tire back on.
You can make chassis adjustments, shock adjustments. You can do whatever you want. You're only allowed that one tire. That's what they have down there in the pits. But you can also rotate tires depending on what stagger you want to achieve. Maybe you come in, you want to close up the stagger. Maybe not make it turn as much, depending on what tires you're trying to close in terms of the stagger. But Burt Myers there right now, he's got a pretty good race car here. He said his car was a little tight, or didn't want to turn in the center of the corner earlier today, both in practice and qualifying. But he's a guy that, will be thinking about what he wants to do to that car. That team will make the changes when they stop for that tire a little bit later on in this race.
30 laps completed. Samuel Ramo is your winner of the Bell Racing Helmet Stage 1 here at the Radford race. Matt Hirschman will finish in second. And, of course, Ryan Newman, those drivers there are the finish of the top three. They all get some money from Bell Racing Helmets.
Absolutely. So thank you to Bell Helmets for being a proud supporter of the Smart Modified Tour. Lights out on the Autos by Nelson pace truck right now. So looks like we'll be going back to green flag racing this time by Sam Ramo in the 06 on the point. Matt Hirschman second in that black 60. The 39 of Ryan Newman in that aggressive hydraulics Pace-O-Matic car third. Brian Lofton, red and white, number 15, fourth. Carson Lofton, his son, has dropped to fifth. And look, Steven Kopsick now for this restart up to sixth.
Stage 2 and the run to the checker at the Radford race back underway in Virginia.
Newman felt like he had a pretty good race car on the long haul here today. He's on the inside of Matt Hirschman. They dueled last night at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Hirschman won. Newman had a good finish, but Newman can't get that run up off the corner.
Here comes Rocket Man, Ryan Newman of that Pace-O-Matic sponsored machine. And behind him, Myers and Lofton reeling him back in. This is all going on behind. That's the driver.
Kopsick in the number one.
Yeah, too many ones in this track right now.
I want to go back to that battle as Ramo leads this race, because the battle brewing from about 6th, 7th on back, with a lot of different things going out on the racetrack right now. There's Ramo in the lead. Plenty of time to go. He's got to conserve his stuff, not punish those tires. Here comes Kopsick. We need to go to the battle for third right now, because Kopsick looking good here, trying to go to the inside of Ryan Newman.
Ramo off the corner. There's second, third, fourth, right there. That's Newman and Kopsick right behind him. They're reeling each other in. They're getting faster, getting to the leaders.
And behind that, side by side as well, Kraus pulls by Lofton. So look at that. Behind that, battles going on all over the racetrack. Just need to fade back a little bit to show some of those battles going on behind this right now. There we go. Look at that racing action right now here at Motor Mile. Bobby Labonte on the inside of Lofton in the number 15. They are battling inside the top 10. Currently, Brian Lofton 6th, Bobby Labonte in 7th.
Bob, wasn't Andrew Kraus the one that got in the wall in qualifying?
No, he went up to the wall because he had a right front tire go down.
Okay.
So Andrew Kraus having a good run. He's just right in front of Bobby Labonte. But we'll stay right here because Joey Coulter now to the inside of Lofton. Lofton, who said he loves this racetrack, fading like his son did. Now Carson, his son, to the inside of his dad as Coulter moves by as well. So Joey Coulter up to 7th.
All this going on to the backstretch. About the mid-pack area, as you see. A driver now, Carson Lofton, falling back. Now look at this battle. Chris Fonterio, a former champion. Caleb Heddy going back at it into turn number 2.
Caleb Heddy won at Hickory earlier this year in that Tommy Baldwin racing ride. And we continue to pray and think about Tommy Baldwin, his family. Tommy announcing about a month ago that he was going to be undergoing cancer treatments. Tommy's been at a bunch of these racetracks watching his cars. And Tommy means so much to the modified community. Of course, his dad, Tiger Tom Baldwin, the leader of the Long Island gang for such a long time. So much success in the Northeast. and now his son, a former Daytona 500 winning crew chief for Ward Burton, has his own modified team carrying on his dad's colors and number. Caleb Hetty running the Smart Series for them, and Caleb has moved up into the top 5 in the standings after a difficult start to the season.
Yeah, it's really a talented driver. I remember the emotion he had that first time he picked up a solid finish at Florence Motor Speedway, and then carried all that momentum into a championship, winning Caraway. Just a bright young man that built his career from the legend cars, Bob Dillner, to then move into these smart modified cars.
So there's the 15 of Lofton, Fiduciario in the number 8. There's Tim Brown, the Rocket, in Andretti's car. That car is a fine-looking, prepared machine. But right now, Tim Brown, you see him entering in that second crew. That car, I don't think, handling the way Tim Brown wants it to. Tim Brown with 2 poles this year, top 10 in points, but struggling just a little bit here in the early going, outside the top 10, running in 12th. Brandon Ward, who pitted, starting to march his way back up through the field. Ward in that 2 machine.
Now, the blue and gold 83 Sing Tower not out here tonight. It's that 25 for Andretti that Rocket Tim Brown is behind in. And there's Brandon Ward, Bowman Gray Stadium modified champion and the most recent winner on the tour. 2 wins this year for the driver out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. But he won on a flat track like Carteret County at the beach. Now you're in the mountains at 16 degrees of bacon. Totally different world here today.
Flat track around a football field, Bowman Gray Stadium. There's Ward. Look at Brown, though, trying to get to the outside of that 8 machine. Brown, he's got a pretty good race car. He might be trying something for later in this race that could work out for him, because he's utilizing the 15-degree banking here at Motor Mile to keep his momentum up. There we
47 of 99 laps. I was just going to say, we are coming up on that halfway mark here, Bob, and we're going to go side by side. Look at this box. There's Matt Hirschman. And look at this, Fiduciario battling there with Tim Brown going back out into 1. Take your pick. There's action everywhere.
And Tim Brown makes it work on the outside line. That is the difficult way around this .416 mile racetrack. But Brown, man, he is cruising on the outside. He'll go by Lofton as well. So when he goes by Lofton, that moves Tim Brown into the top 10.
Back straightaway, the Rocket Tim Brown begins to get into orbit here in the Commonwealth. He goes to the top side. He's driving a different lane than everyone else is, too. We're watching that.
Halfway through this race now here at Motor Mile. Laps clicking away at a very fast pace as we watch Tim Brown move into the top 10. But up front, it's still Sam Ramo. You got to wonder, though, what's going to happen? The next caution, will everybody come down if it's the next 10 laps or so? Will somebody try to gamble like Danny Bone did in some shape, form, or fashion at Carteret and wait until a little bit later? A strategy certainly in play here, and nobody manipulates strategy better than Matt Hirschman. Hirschman in second. He is fine just riding right there. As I mentioned, like a stealth bomber, just waiting for the point when he needs to attack and saving his stuff at that right time.
Ready for that opportunity to pounce on his prey. He is the predator. He might be in the bridesmaid spot, but make no doubt about it. He is methodically dissecting this field, waiting for the time. Samuel Ramo leads that 06M machine on Flow Racing here from Pulaski County in the Radford 99 on a Sunday afternoon. Matt Hirschman, the Pennsylvanian, in second. Ryan Newman from Indiana, the Rocket Man to third. Right now, here we go again as we watch Joey Coulter. This is also all of these other actions going on here. That's Bobby Labonte. We haven't really talked about him that much. He's in the mid-pack of the top 10 and 7th, Bob.
Yeah, Bobby Labonte having a pretty decent run, his first top 5 run of the season, which is a big surprise coming Labor Day weekend at Carteret County Speedway. This team has had all sorts of gremlins affect them. I want to say a big shout out to Hermie Sadler and Bill Stanley, the owners of that team. Sam Ramo up top. And our lead camera here, we need him to widen up just a little bit to show us that top 3. A great shot, but there is the top 3. You can see that gap from first to second, second to third. And then honestly, take a look at that 4th place car come into the shot right here. If we widen out just a little bit, there's Steven Kopsick. What a run for that kid. Out of Connecticut, coming down south to Southern Virginia, running at a racetrack he's never seen before. Kopsick is making his presence felt in that 4th spot. And that number 1 machine, really a good-looking race car right there for Steven Compson. The kid, former SK Light champion at Stafford Motor Speedway. And Stafford Motor Speedway is one of the toughest tracks in America. Turns 1 and 2, totally different than 3 and 4. You can see all those races from Stafford Motor Speedway on Flow Racing. But if you ever want to experience one of the best racetracks in America, you need to head to New England, right outside of Hartford, Connecticut, and go to Stafford Motor Speedway.
The home of the SK Modified.
That's right. I remember there was some big turmoil back in the day when the Aroots decided to have the SK Modifieds as the feature class.
Yeah.
But they were visionaries, okay? They knew what they needed to do. The Tour kind of took over the big high horsepower modifieds of the Northeast because it was so much to run that from a weekly basis. They created the SK class, and it has served wonders for the New England racing scene. Right now, Sam Ramo, one of those drivers making that transition to the high horsepower tour type modified wars and really showing his stuff. And I don't think he's punishing those tires at this stage of the game.
63 of 99. And you know, Bob, I know you're a broadcasting teacher now at App State, and I got to tell you, I went to school, took your math test. 24 modifieds times 600 horsepower is 14,440. Rounded out to 15,000 horsepower when they roared the green around this place.
That's a lot of ponies right there.
Yes.
Indeed. Ryan Newman in that Pace-O-Matic aggressive hydraulics machine for S&S Racing. He too, he's a little bit loose coming off the corner. You can see that maybe a little tight to loose for Ryan Newman, but because of those gloves, great shot by the way, coming off the corner. We'll stick with this for just a second. See him coming off the corner and see if that car wiggles, and watch his hands with those white gloves. Very smooth that time for Ryan Newman, the Rocket Man.
Yes. Coming off of a pretty decent run in the SRX event here back in July. Of course, just a NASCAR career, ran some NASCAR racing. But back on Labor Day, he ran the Smart Modified Tour event, and then he ran the race at the Southern
Darlington.
500 at Darlington. Yeah.
Look at this. 1 and 2 is closed up just a little bit. That gap disappearing. Hirschman now getting ready to maybe go on the attack. Hirschman, been a long time runner for Troyer Race Cars out of the Northeast area. His dad Tony ran them, now he runs them. Sam Ramo in the 06, pacing the field.
Bob, got a question here. We're approaching lap 70 of 99. Lap 70 of 99. You said they've got to change a tire. If we get a green flag run, did they got to come down and make a green flag
No,
pit stop?
they're just holding on for dear life because those tires are going to be going away. And Burt Myers and I talked about that today. You can go 99 laps on a set of tires.
Okay.
It just makes you that much better if you're able to put on that one tire, and it leads to interesting strategy for the fans watching at home on Flow Racing and in the grandstand. I think Hirschman, though, is saying, hey, we're getting close to the end. Maybe I need to go on the attack. Andrew Krause, kudos to him, because had difficulty in qualifying, popped a right front tire in the top 5. Hirschman to the lead by Sam Ramo on the inside. Makes it look easy, does big money Matt Hirschman.
Looking to cash in the Commonwealth.
Like
Down
that.
the front straightaway, back to turn 1, the PD Motorsports entry. Now that's the car that's based out of South Carolina. He's got those different cars up in the Northeast. But that number 60, make no bones about it. When he shows up at these big shows, that car is ready to win. He wants to go back to Pennsylvania with the big wins at North Wilkesboro and here at Pulaski County, Bob.
And this car sometimes runs up there as well, but he runs for 3 different teams. He's got his own family-owned team that he runs for 2 other teams, one of them PD Motorsports right here with his 60. But Hirschman to the lead now with 25 laps left in the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic at Motor Mile.
Can we suffice to say that Matt Hirschman is the Ricky Thornton Jr. of the modifieds, like he's doing at Lucas Oil for late models on dirt?
No, I think a better comparison, honestly. Jimmy Blewett told me during Florida Speed Weeks. He said everybody says the best ever was Richie Evans.
Yes.
And that truly was the case. 9 times a NASCAR National Modified Champion. But Jimmy Blewett said, much like Richie Evans was the best of his time, Matt Hirschman is the new Richie Evans and the best of this time in the modified wars around America.
Kind of like what people say about Kyle Larson in motorsports, what he does. For sure.
And there are different eras. Think about the Cup Series.
Exactly right.
Okay, you had the Richard Petty era, you had the Dale Earnhardt era, the Jeff Gordon era, the Jimmy Johnson era.
Yep.
You know, it's hard to compare, but Matt Hirschman, truly one of the greats of modified racing.
Closing in on 20 laps to go in the Radford race. 2 cautions earlier in the start of the event. 1 caution was actually at the end of stage number 1 with the Bell helmet stage. And of course, since then, it has been green since lap number 30. We're working now 20 to go, Bob Dillner, and Muddy Matt Hirschman is now working through lap traffic, going to 1, trying to get by Gerstner.
Right behind this, right there, Steven Kopsick just got by Ryan Newman, caught it out of the corner of my eye. Great move by Steven Kopsick to get by Ryan Newman. Kopsick, he's had to have burned up his stuff because he had to charge through the field and has come a long ways to move up like he has into the top 3. Right now setting his sights on the 06 of Ramo.
Lap traffic as a pick on the bottom. Kopsick under attack on the outside. Tries to clear by Gerstner. Jeremy Gerstner. Oh, no, trouble.
Hold on,
he
Jeremy.
Spins.
Hold on, right in front of Andrew Krause in the top 5. Jeremy Gerstner, great car control right there after maybe a little bit of contact, not sure on the front stretch, but Gerstner goes to a spin in turn number 1 to bring out the caution. And now Matt Hirschman going to the lead. It all goes out the window. Will he stay out? Will he come onto pit road and get that tire? I think, honestly, if you're smart, you're going to come down pit road, get that tire, but somebody might take the gamble.
Bob, this was the caution everybody wanted right here.
Maybe not Steven Kopsick.
Maybe not Kopsick. But for the most part, when they open up that green light on pit road, I think you're going to see some guys take on that opportunity to get that 1 tire. We'll see what the strategy will be.
And we're not taking a break here because everybody's going to be coming down pit road. We'll see what happens. Get both of our cameras on some of the top goers here. But listen, everybody that comes down pit road is going to change that 1 tire, most likely on the right rear. They'll make some other chassis adjustments, get their car ready for battle for the final laps of this race. We still got, 16 laps to go in this one. Had to do my quick math, my Long Island math right there. Daniel Yates in that number 18 car. He's not had the run that he wants, just outside the top 10, running in the 12th spot.
There is the top 10 on the scoring pylon in the infield here at the Pulaski County Motorsports Park.
And here they come, down pit road, led by Matt Hirschman. Did anybody stay out? How about that? Steven Kopsick stayed out in the 1CT.
You called it.
Caleb Heddy stays out. Caleb Heddy might have come down pit road earlier. We're going to check on that. But here they come, led by Matt Hirschman. You see Brandon Ward right there. Jason Myers. Let's see some of those top running cars as well. Hirschman on pit road. Behind him, I see Carson Lofton is there.
Tires being changed on Hirschman, Bob.
The 06 of Ramo goes off. This is a controlled caution, okay? So remember that as well. Brian Lofton on pit road. Tim Brown.
If we have a new audience on Flow Racing for the Smart Modified Tour in attendance here at the track, what does the controlled caution mean?
Controlled caution is you can come down pit road, change your tire, and then get back out and be able to maintain. But right now, if you look at it, 2 drivers did not come down pit road. And that's Steven Kopsick. Want to get our cameras to show that as well. The top 2 guys on the racetrack right now, Steven Kopsick and Caleb Heddy, did not come down pit road. So that's pretty interesting. Interesting strategy. I don't believe, and I'm going to clarify with our officials here for just a second to see if they did come down pit road earlier in this race.
While that goes on, they're going to reshuffle them up here in this controlled caution. Top 10 before the yellow flag fell. Lap number 83, Matt Hirschman was the leader. Samuel Ramo in the number 2 spot. And look at everything now. Followed by Ryan Newman, Steven Kopsick, Andrew Krause, Joey Coulter, and I hear the word from the press box coming back into the broadcast booth, sitting ducks, Bob Dillner. It sounds like you get what you give, and this is what they're going to have.
You know, sometimes what is said in the tower stays in the tower.
Yeah, but this was worth saying on the air. Okay, I'm sorry.
But yes, I did say I believe that, you know, Stephen Kopsick and Caleb Hetty could be sitting ducks because honestly, they did not take tires. They did not pit earlier. Maybe their strategy is get another caution a little bit later. Maybe their strategy is to remain out there. But honestly, only 2 cars not coming down pit road and taking tires. You got to think Ramo, Hirschman, Kraus, Ward, Lofton, Burt Myers, everybody is going to be that much better off with that fresh rubber on the right rear.
Less than 20 laps to go, 19 laps to be exact. And of course, now we see Stephen Kopsick from Connecticut, of course, Caleb Hetty from Kentucky. The young man, and of course a former series champion of the Smart Modified Tour.
And he is such a good kid, honestly. Caleb Hetty, just a great personality. Got that mullet thing kind of, you know, going on right now. Got the flow in the back, and having a good time running these modifieds for Tommy Baldwin Racing. We'll get the Citrus Safe Choose Cone, by the way, right just past that shot. That's an opportunity for drivers as they get to the Citrus Safe Choose Cone to go inside or outside to choose where they want to restart this race. And it shuffles up the order a little bit as well. Right now we see Kopsick take the inside, Caleb Hetty taking the outside, and there's Ramo in the 06 on the inside of row number 2. Coming to the green here. Plenty of time left in this one. For the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Ramo hitting the back end of Kopsick, putting into the lead. Kopsick out of control a little bit, sideways coming off the corner. The 06 of Ramo, and the caution comes out. We got a couple of cars up in turn number 2 that bring out the caution. Brian Lofton, who we figured was a threat for the victory here, and I believe that is Bobby Labonte, or is it Ryan Newman? Ryan Newman in the number 39 car, coming down the front stretch here. So those 2 guys getting involved in turn number 2 on this restart. So a bad break. Ryan Newman from the backstretch. Hard to tell Ryan Newman and Bobby Labonte's car apart because the font on that number and the bright orange color, they are almost identical with the exception of the number. There's that right front down on Brian Lofton's car. So Lofton having a tough day here tonight.
Same car as the colors are, as you mentioned, 18 for Bobby Labonte, the 2000 NASCAR Cup Series champion back in the day of the cookout machine. And, of course, Rocket Man Ryan Newman, the 50th running of the Daytona 500 winner in that 39 Pace-O-Matic on the rear of the spoiler on that car, of course. Brian Lofton is on pit road. All of this happening now is Brian Lofton having to change that tire after being involved in that incident in turn number 1 and 2. Another yellow flag. 4th for on-track incidents. 5th overall, counting that Bell helmet stage. And it is Brian Lofton getting a new tire on the right front of the number 15 machine. The driver, of course, Brian Lofton. Flying Brian, a man that's out of Lexington, North Carolina. He's won here on in races before. He is a talent, no doubt, Bob. And, of course, he's got to get that car fixed from the damage with him and Ryan Newman.
Hey, I'll be, where am I going to be? South Boston on Saturday night, October 14th. But we still have one more race to go here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. The finale for all the local divisions. It'll be on October 14th. That's going to be a lot of fun. So one more race for the 2023 season here at Motor Mile.
So, and if we're going to promote all these events, obviously, again, the Smart Modified Tour at South Boston. Next Saturday, our sister track in Coburn, Virginia, Lonesome Pine Motorsports Park. Phenomenal things Jeff Rourke and Mark Ebert have been telling me they've been doing there. They've got their big finale. Twin late model feature, NASCAR sanctioned track. NASCAR roots on flow racing, obviously, been going on for the last couple of years. And that is a beautiful track. Their finale next Saturday. Then you come back, as you mentioned, Bob, next in 2 weeks, October 14th. Twin late model features, championships on the line. Oh, but that's not the big one, though. The big one is Smashtoberfest, Bob Dillner. October 21st, Godzilla, Bad News Travels Fast, Amped Up, more Munster trucks, crazy races, enduro race, a flagpole race, a chain race, freestyle motocross. Go out with a bang and just do all kind of shenanigans to close out the year. Right?
You go to Lonesome Pine next week. Good racetrack. I'm going to be at Tri-County Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic to see these 600 horsepower missiles on wheels run once again. And we got some interesting things shaping up here for the final 19 laps of this race. Kopsick in the 1CT, driver out of Connecticut, and the kid out of Kentucky in the 7NY, Caleb Heddy, on that front row, 1 and 2 right now. And those two drivers trying to hold off a bunch of drivers right behind them with newer tires. What's going to prevail here today? That is the big question. Back to green we go. Kopsick with the advantage going into turn number 1.
They were going by so fast.
A little bit further back, 3 wide, 3 wide. Kraus sends it in there. Holy moly. Woo!
And while that goes on, the caution comes out again for the second time with 19 to go.
Well, that was interesting.
Boy, oh boy.
We got Bobby
Labonte now.
Labonte up in the corner off of turn number 2. Turn number 2 has been difficult for Sadler Stanley Racing tonight. Ryan Newman caught up in an incident with Brian Lofton just moments ago, and now that right front solidly in the wall for the units moving and storage cookout Pace-O-Matic machine for Bobby Labonte.
Yellow flag out now, again for the 6th time.
Believe Labonte, yeah, he does. He has his helmet off, so that's good to see him. That looked like it might have been a hard lick because the right front suspension really pushed back on that race car.
You see the medical team, the safety crew, quickly they're summoned to the scene over there in turn number 2 for Bobby Labonte. AMR, American Medical Response Units here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park.
Labonte and Newman, ironically, teammates for SNS Racing. Both ran in the SRX race here earlier this year.
Yep.
What was that, July?
July the 27th on a Thursday night.
We had a lot of fun announcing that race for all the fans, and this place was packed.
It was.
For SRX. A Sunday race, a little bit more difficult for people to come out. So if you didn't come out, we hope you're watching on Flow Racing and enjoying all the coverage today for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. More than 170 Pace-O-Matic people here today associated with that company, and they're in the suite off of turn number 4, watching all the great racing action, having some good food, and had some pace car rides. The 2-seater modified earlier today, going around the racetrack, driving some of the Pace-O-Matic guests here at Motor Mile.
And even the Rusty Wallace driving experience. Some of those cars
I did see that.
went out there. Hey, for the first time, if you're not wondering why you're not hearing the throaty rumble of the engines of those modifieds, we are under the red flag. Red flag is out for the first time in this race right now, as again 19 laps to go. An SNS racing incident involving, of course, Ryan Newman as well as Brian Lofton. And then just as soon as they went back to the green flag, trouble in turn number 2. The Corpus Christi, Texas native, of course, Bobby Labonte now having some assistance, and we go under red.
We're going to take a quick break here on Flow Racing and come back with more coverage of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic at Pulaski County Motorsports Park.
Race fans, coming up next as soon as the conclusion of the Smart Modified Tour Radford race post-race ceremonies conclude, we'll have the Sportsman Twin race number 1. Sportsman feature Twin 1, 35 laps here at this Sunday afternoon's events here at the Radford race. Thanks to all you race fans for being here. Of course, Super Street 30-lap feature will be coming up as soon as that run is concluded. We have the great folks from the Jabs Construction Design Building Virginia Mini Cup Series. They'll be here for their feature event. And then the final race of the afternoon for the Radford race will be the second feature for the Sportsman Twin 35s here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. The mod race under the red flag here with 19 laps to go. Remember, they go 99 laps the distance. 80 laps are completed.
So Bobby Labonte's car being tended to off of turn number 2. Thank you to Track Safety for taking care of that. Race Director David Hoots making sure that everything is taken care of with Bobby, that race car and so forth, to make sure that everything is okay in terms of no more damage being done to that race car than had already occurred. There's the top 2 on the racetrack. Steven Kopsick, that kid, a lot of talent behind the wheel, won a couple of SK modified races this year at Stafford Motor Speedway, and now he's leading late in the going of the Radford race for the Smart Modified Tour at Motor Mile here in Virginia. Caleb Hetty wants to get back to Pace-O-Matic Victory Lane, hasn't done so since I think it was April at the Hickory 100 in Hickory, North Carolina. Caleb Hetty in that 7NY for Tommy Baldwin Racing. Behind that, Sam Ramo. What a run for him in that 06 race car. Ramo has been very impressive in the 06. Saw him out in the racetrack, wondered, okay, is the kid going to have speed here today? He showed it right from the get-go in practice, quickest in practice, really setting a blistering pace. Over a tenth of a second faster than anybody else was the driver of that 06 car, Sam Ramo, tri-track winner last year. And right now trying to win one here, led a bunch of laps early in this Radford race at Motor Mile. There is Ramo in the 06 machine. Good-looking car. We keep on panning back a little bit. We'll try to show you some of the cars that are running up front right now. 4th place, Matt Hirschman. Brandon Ward having a good run as well. Remember, Ward in the battle for the championship. So Ward running inside the top 5. Andrew Krause has been very impressive here today in that black and orange number 24. The driver out of New Jersey, winner at Wall Stadium in Belmar, New Jersey. Carson Lofton has rebounded pretty nicely after fading in the early part of this race. Had some difficulty, but Carson Lofton having a good rebound here. There is Joey Coulter. Coulter right now 5th in points. There's the point leader, Burt Myers, in that race car. Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners, Backyard Leisure Pools and Spas number 1. Myers 3 times a winner already this year. Won them consecutively, by the way. Tim Brown, his rival in modified racing in the South, especially at Bowman Gray Stadium. 25, sponsored by Jerry Hunt Super Center. The Yates Grading and Excavating 18. That's Daniel Yates. Chris Finichario in the number 8. Ryan Newman back there in the number 39. Jeremy Gerstner, who spun earlier. He's running in the 55. So right now, we're awaiting to go back to yellow flag conditions. Bobby Labonte's car hit the wall hard in turn number 2, and that's the reason we are under red flag conditions.
Matt Hirschman won the season opener back at Florence Motor Speedway back in March, driving for this team, Bob. So it's been a while since he's been to Victory Lane in the South.
Well, he's only run 2 races this year in the South.
That's right.
Had a good run as well at South Boston when he came over from Richmond Raceway in Virginia. The Whelen Modified Tour rained out the night before. They had to race a day race and then a night race. He came over with a police escort over to South Boston Speedway. Hirschman can certainly get it done. And you know, Matt Hirschman is a trooper. Broke his arm at Thompson Speedway back in August. Things are mended there. Has already won a race. The U.S. Open at Lancaster with the Race of Champions Modified Series, and won last night at North Wilkesboro with the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Trying to win another here. Trying to have a weekend sweep. Matt Hirschman is a modified competition in the South. He could do that with a win tonight here at Pulaski County with the Smart Modified Tour.
Don't forget, of course, Hudson, North Carolina. That is the Crandell 99. That'll be the big race at the Tri-County Motor Speedway.
If you don't like modifieds, I don't know what's wrong with you. Because take a look at this shot right here from the speed shot for Flow Racing. That 24 car is a work of art. Beautiful machine. And the Kraus family has been so important and in the realms of modified racing, especially to try to keep Wall Stadium and the racing around there alive for a long time. I remember being hired by Earl Kraus, who worked for Area Auto Racing News for so many years. Earl hired me as a 15-year-old kid to write for Area Auto Racing News. I was punished back in the day, not good in school. Not going to tell anybody that that's listening, but my parents punished me. I wrote some stories about racing. They said, turn them into some racing papers. And Earl Kraus, I remember the phone call. I was just 15 years old. Gave me a call and said, hey, kid, are you old enough to get in the racetrack? And sure. And I wound up in the pits interviewing some of my heroes at Riverhead Raceway and Stafford and all sorts of racetrack. Went to Riverside Park often, that great racetrack that was for so long just over the border from Connecticut into Massachusetts. Went to the amusement park during the day and went racing at night. You knew it was time for racing when you got up on the Ferris wheel at Riverside Park and they stopped at the top. Made me a little bit nervous, but I felt a little bit more comfortable when I saw those race cars enter the racetrack because you got a good view of the racetrack from the top of the Ferris wheel and just good times. And, these race cars are very special. 600 horsepower, 15-inch wheels, and we hear them being fired up once again. Looks like we're going to be going back under yellow flag conditions here momentarily at Motor Mile.
Rumbling the pavement, or as my announcing colleague last night for the dirt races, Anthony Wiseman called it the blacktop. Rumbling the blacktop.
Is he the guy that they call caution? Caution, yes.
Yes.
Self-given nickname. We're not picking on him.
No,
okay.
no,
He likes to be called caution.
He likes to be called caution.
Yes.
So listen. In addition to that, some of the stories that you're telling our audience on Flow Racing and here at the track, I've seen some of the stories, the videos. Long Island Trackside, I think it was, videos and pictures and just memories that you've got. That's not a good memory right there, though, for Bobby Labonte to be on the hook.
Well, but think about Bobby Labonte. He watched modified racing at tracks like Martinsville and New Hampshire while he was running a Cup car for so long.
Yeah.
And then when he retired from Cup racing, he still wanted to do some racing.
That's right.
Got this opportunity with Hermie Sadler and Bill Stanley, to do racing this year. But a couple of years ago, got behind the wheel of a modified, won a race really quickly, and said, man, I love modifieds. Everybody that gets behind the wheel of a modified, whether you're a Carl Edwards, Tony Stewart, you name it, okay? I think the only person that didn't really love modified racing initially was Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch got behind the wheel of a modified, I believe it was at New Smyrna Speedway, and didn't really take a liking to it that much. But I think even Kyle would love to get behind the wheel of a modified again. And everybody that does, with the big tires, like Joey Coulter was saying, the high horsepower, low slung race cars, just a lot of fun to drive.
As Bob mentioned, of course, Tri-County Motor Speedway. By the way, they're coming off of the heels of a very successful night last night.
And Landon Huffman in Victory Lane last night, and the late model stock car wars wins again.
Phil Combs was telling me this morning that the biggest crowd, the biggest car count that they've had since the owners got the track back and opened it up.
So let's pack the
bring
joint
it
again,
in there,
back to back.
Yes,
come on, come out next week at Tri-County Speedway in Hudson, North Carolina, to see the mighty modifieds of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. That's like next Saturday night, right in the heart of stock car country. You're going to see the open wheel warriors of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic.
Bob, I got to ask you this question. We've known each other a long time, worked many races together. The modifieds are really growing in the South again, thanks to, of course, Chris Williams and Jeff Button and everybody that's involved in it with Pace-O-Matic and more. Flow Racing, it's amazing where it took it to a national level for this series. My question is this. Is it comfortable with 12 races, or do you see more races on the schedule in the future?
Don't need any more with what
No more.
Chris Williams tries to do, staying away from Bowman Gray Stadium and respecting that.
That's awesome.
Because that's very important to modified racing. I don't think we can fit many more. Now, this is interesting strategy. At the Citrus Safe Choose Cone, Ramo took the outside after Hetty took the inside for this particular restart. Interesting, coming to the green flag now. Kopsick and Ramo, the young guns here at Motor Mile, and a great start for Ramo in the 06. He grabs the lead.
For the third time, 19 to go in Virginia. Let's see how it happens. Hirschman on the outside. Ramo, can he get him? Here it comes to Kopsick on the bottom. Ramo the lead. Hirschman, Kopsick, and look at that Kraus car on the outside. He's going after it into one.
Kraus has been so much fun to watch here today in that number 24 car, side by side for the third spot. Remember, Kopsick holding on. Will he get a caution? Can he come in and change that tire that he has available to him? He has not changed any tires, and Kraus has. Now Kraus to the outside, get a motor on by the number one. Move Andrew Kraus up to third.
Kopsick falling back. Here comes now Caleb Hetty, Brandon Ward, Tim Brown.
Wow.
Here comes Carson Lofton back in the top 10.
Great shots here. Shows you the great racing action of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Veteran and young gun right here. Young gun, Carson Lofton, 15 years old, on the inside of the veteran, Tim Brown, trying to hold on. Wesley, what were you doing at 15 years old?
Just started announcing.
Yeah.
Just started announcing. It was wrestling.
Not driving a 600 horsepower race car.
Negative.
Look at this. Brandon Ward to the inside of Caleb Hetty. Hetty on those old tires. He's going to hold Tim Brown up a little bit. Opens the door for Carson Lofton to go to the inside. So right now, Carson Lofton rebounding after fading early in this event. And look at Hetty sideways off the corner.
The ace of the hole, ready to pounce on the rocket. Caleb Hetty now got those cars behind him in tow. Here comes now Brandon Ward. He'll go to the inside, making a move on Kopsick now as they go back into the shadows into turn number 2.
This is a battle for fourth. Kopsick has it. Ward wants it. By the way, as we show you this, nothing going on right now in the top 3. Ward sideways coming off the corner, trying to get to the inside of Kopsick, who's on those older tires. But don't look now. Here comes Carson Lofton, the Lexington Flyer, the rookie of the Smart Modified Tour, showing his stuff here at Motor Mile.
Trying to get around Brandon Ward for the top 5 for the first time in this race, in the Radford race, just before 6 o'clock Eastern time. Bob, there is massive cloud cover above this half mile here in Fairlawn, Virginia. What is it going to do to these cars as we're approaching the home stretch? 10 to go in Radford, Virginia.
Burt Myers there in the number 1 machine. Myers running back in 9th. Little tap from Tim Brown to Caleb Hetty. Brandon Ward, though, who is second in points, is 4th right now. If they were to finish here with 10 to go, 9 to go now, Brandon Ward would pick up a bunch of markers, a bunch of points on Burt Myers in the battle for the championship. Up front, just to give you an idea, a little tap from Carson Lofton to Brandon Ward. Right now, Ramo with an unbelievable lead of about 10 car lengths over Matt Hirschman, and then about 5 car lengths between Hirschman and Andrew Kraus.
Samuel Ramo looking to try to make history here at the Radford race. Big gaggle of traffic, 3 wide. Myers on the bottom, Brown will follow. They're going after Hetty, the young gun, into 1.
Listen, Tim Brown does not like to get passed by anybody, let alone Burt Myers. And Caleb Hetty, nowhere to go. He's given the inside. Tim Brown just trapped up there. Now, Hetty slides down low. Let's see if Tim Brown can work his way around. Hetty back up the racetrack to the bottom, and you can see something hanging from the back of the Run Runner racing machine for Joey Coulter with a little wiggle coming off the corner as well.
There has been 5 winners on the season this year. As you mentioned, the 3-peat for Burt Myers. Brandon Ward, most recent winner. He's got 2 wins on the season. Those are the multi-winners on the year. And now, of course, that driver now leading the way. That is our driver in the 06, Samuel Ramo. But now you see Brown, you see Coulter, you see Hetty. Is that Gerstner back in the battle again? The Floridian from Wesley Chapel now back in the bottom into 1.
So Tim Brown up to 8th, Joey Coulter in 9th, and Caleb Hetty trying to hold off Gerstner for that 10th spot. It's a battle to get in the top 10. Gerstner finished 11th. The last race at Carteret. 3 to go in this one. And a huge lead. Let's show you that lead. It's incredible. It keeps on growing. You would think that maybe Ramo would back up a little bit. 2 to go for Sam Ramo in that 0-6. Look at that gap between first and second. Incredible performance by Sam Ramo here tonight.
Everything in the favor of the driver, Samuel Ramo. He's got a big lead over Matt Hirschman. It's almost 2 seconds and growing. And the white flag is in the air. One more lap to go in the Radford race here in Virginia.
Dreams do come true. From Massachusetts to Virginia, Sam Ramo is a winner in the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. Wow, nobody saw that coming here today at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Incredible.
Samuel Ramo will pick up the win. He will be now the 5th different winner on the series of 2023 for the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic here at Pulaski County Motorsports Park. Winner last night at North Wilkesboro, Money Matt Hirschman. We got a problem up in turn number 4. We got one in the fence. Caleb Hetty is in the wall in the wrong direction on the cool-down lap. We'll have to find out what happened with that. As Caleb Hetty, a former series champion of the Smart Tour, right there as things heat up there at the end of this race. Money Matt will settle for second. Andrew Krause, again, what a way to come back, cutting a tire and qualifying up against the wall, rallying back through the field, finishes third. Brandon Ward, 2-time winner this season, and the Bowman Gray Stadium Modified Champion of the Year. He'll go for 4th from Winston-Salem. Carson Lofton, the Lexington Flyer. What a way to come back and get around Copsick and Moore. He'll be 5th. We'll give the rest of the rundown, at least the top 10. And that'll be, of course, Stephen Copsick from Connecticut, 6th. Burt Myers, 3 wins this year, former series champion, 7th. Rocket Tim Brown, the all-time modified champion at Bowman Gray Stadium, will finish 8th in that 25 for Andretti Motorsports. Joey Coulter, 9th. And Wesley Chapel, Florida's Jeremy Gershner will come back and finish in the top 10, even after spinning in the late rally. Fairlawn, Virginia, he pulls into victory lane. How about it for the man out of Massachusetts and Samuel Ramo? And let's go down to Flow Racing's Bob Dillner.
Incredible performance by Sam Ramo. Look at how pumped up he is. FaceTiming with some people back home. Sam Ramo is a winner on the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. I think there's going to be a party here tonight before they head back to Massachusetts. Ramo parks it in Pace-O-Matic victory lane for the Smart Modified Tour. Winner at the Tri-Track Series last year. Now a winner here in Smart. Congratulations all around for Sam Ramo as he gets a sip of water before he climbs out in victory lane here today. We talked to him during our Pace-O-Matic pit party. Didn't know what to expect here, this family-run team. What an effort here today. Fastest in practice, 2nd in qualifying, and the winner of the Radford race here at Motor Mile. Here we go. Folks, let them hear it. Sam Ramo on the roof at Motor Mile, the winner of the Radford race. Sam, we spoke earlier today. You didn't know what to expect. How good, how sweet does this feel in Pace-O-Matic victory lane?
It's been a long weekend. We struggled hard yesterday at North Wilkesboro. Came out for a really good finish tonight. I just want to give a mention on Flow Racing tonight that one of my biggest crew members, his mom passed away this morning. So Danny, we're thinking of you. We wish you were here, brother. We love you. And I got my cousin who passed away. I got his ashes in my pocket every time. So we're doing this for those guys, and anytime you can beat Ryan Newman, Bobby Labonte, and Matt Hirschman, that's a good day.
I was going to say, Matt Hirschman right there, you swapped the lead with him early in the race. Were you worried about him behind you after you got the lead?
If we didn't have a change tire, I wasn't getting him. He was a lot better than me and would drive off. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, he was just a lot better when we would drive off with that older rubber. I beat it up too much getting to the front, starting 8th. He started 5th, so that was the difference there. But I knew, had good faith in my crew, and can't thank my dad enough for putting this whole deal together for me. He makes this all happen, and can't thank our partners enough. There's so many people to thank, but Quality Fleet Service, Dennison Lubricants, Eddie Harvey, thanks, buddy, and let's see, Dennison Lubricants, Hancock Lumber, Powell Stone and Gravel, Flamingo Motorsports, all of our partners and fans, we appreciate it.
Absolutely, folks. He is a winner of the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, and now he's going to get the Bankers Life Smarty Trophy. Whitney to present that trophy, manufactured by Johnston's here in Victory Lane for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about it again for the driver, Mr. Ramo, getting it done, sir. Congratulations. Samuel Ramo making history here in Virginia over Matt Hirschman, who's the runner-up, and Bob Dillner is standing by with him now.
Matt Hirschman beat today by Sam Ramo. Just an incredible performance from that driver. How did he get it done here today compared to what your car was doing on the racetrack late in the going?
Well, I mean, we had good long-run speed there. We had the lead on the long run before the caution, but he had a good short-run speed. He showed it at the beginning of the race, and he showed it at the end. So it's not the first time he's beat me. He's won some races up at Monadnock, I believe, Tri-Track and stuff. So you guys might not be familiar with him, but he gets it done. Especially, I think he really likes bank short tracks. I think that's like his strength. So I'm glad we made it. You know, I mean, he won the first time he was ever here, but it is tough to win first-time visits, and we did it several places, Florence, Southern National, some of those places. But I'd like to think we'll be back here again someday, and I think we could try and improve on second place today.
Not a bad couple of weeks, though. The win at Lancaster, win last night at North Wilkesboro, second here today. Things definitely picking up for you after that injury with your arm.
No, typically when we're winning races, we also pick up a lot of second places too. I mean, that means you're right there. I mean, even third. Usually, you know, if you're on the podium, you're in contention. You're going to get some of all three of those. You're going to get some wins. You're going to get some seconds. You're going to get some thirds. And in the last 4 weeks, we got first and second. So we're right in the hunt, and we'll try and stay there. We'll be back in the South a few more times. Martinsville's coming up, the North-South Shootout. So I'll, look forward to the fall races here in the South. The weather's nicer than it will be up north when you get into that time of year. So thanks everybody for coming out. Great weekend with a win last night, and just came up one spot short today.
Matt Hirschman out of Northampton, Pennsylvania, second in the Radford race here at Motor Mile.
One of those drivers that is definitely, as Bob said in the broadcast, the Richie Evans of this era for the modifieds in that PD Motorsports number 60. He'll settle for second here tonight. Third place finisher is Andrew Kraus. What a way to come back and redeem from problems from qualifying, cutting down a tire. In the 24, he's third, and Bob Dillner is down there with him right now for post-race interviews.
Down here with Andrew Kraus. The day did not start well for Andrew, especially after qualifying in that right front going down. But how about this, a rebound for a podium finish? Just an incredible performance. You satisfied?
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a whole lot more after the way today started. We had a tire go down in time trials and hit the wall and had to start last. So definitely, after never being here before, just really put us behind. But I have awesome guys. I got to thank them, and Pace-O-Matic and the Smart Tour and all the fans and everybody for coming out here today. And we tried to put on a good show. We started dead last and got all the way up to third. Just kept chugging at it, and thought we had some at the end.
What do you think about this place, the Motor Mile racetrack with the Smart Modified Tour and coming down here? What was the experience like?
This whole weekend's been awesome. We came down here yesterday, ran North Wilkesboro, and then we were able to make it over here today. So getting both of these tracks, never been to either one of them. Both phenomenal places, awesome racing, very welcoming. We come from up in New Jersey, so we don't get it often down here, but it's just nice when we do, and it's great racing.
I've been to Wall Stadium many a time, and that's some tough-nosed racing right there. Andrew Krause, heck of a run from the back to a podium finish here today.
The series will pack up after today's events at Pulaski County Motorsports Park and head to Tri-County Motor Speedway in Hudson, North Carolina, of course, for the other race. Then, of course, it's South Boston, Orange County, SmartModTour.com. Let's go back down to Bob.
Hey, Wesley, one more time before I'm off the mic here, and you got all the control for the remaining races. Want to invite everybody here next Saturday night for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic event at Tri-County Speedway in Hudson, North Carolina. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here comes Sam Ramo one more time. Round of applause for Sam Ramo. But Wesley, on behalf of Pace-O-Matic, Chris Williams, and everybody with the Smart Modified Tour, I'm Bob Dillner saying thank you so much for coming out, and thank you for watching on Flow Racing. We'll see you next Saturday night in Hudson, North Carolina.
Thank you very much, Bob. And for those that are joining us on our broadcast coverage of the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic, seeing Samuel Ramo win the Radford race. We've got bonus racing coverage right here from Virginia, right after a break from Flow Racing.
The greatest American tradition is back. The Big E, September 13th through the 29th, where united we fare, united we eat, united we ride, united we support the great agricultural traditions of our nation. Tickets at thebige.com.
Motorsports Park. Back here on Flow Racing as well as you're joined on Public Address, and here is again the unofficial results for round number 9 of the 2023 Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic schedule. Again, 5th different winner of the year, Samuel Ramo gets it done from Massachusetts. Money Matt Hirschman from Pennsylvania will settle for 2nd in the number 60. Andrew Krause will finish 3rd. Brandon Ward will be 4th. Carson Lofton would have come back to finish in the top 5. 6th will be Stephen Kopik, followed by, of course, Kopik with Burt Myers. Then it's Burt Myers with Tim Brown, Joey Coulter, and would have come back for the Floridian, Jerry Gerstner to finish in the top 10. Chris Fonacerio will finish in the 11th spot, followed by Daniel Yates, Brian Lofton, and Gary Young Jr. Jason Myers will finish 15th unofficially. Caleb Heddy is 16th. Ryan Newman is 17th. The first car multiple laps down, including 10. Bobby Labonte, teammates of SNS Motorsports with Newman, will finish 18th, and Paul Hall 19th. Michael Rich will be 20th. Lexington, North Carolina's Jimmy Wallace 21st. Tim Conley, I've always loved that V4 machine modified. The yellow car will settle for 22nd. Problems in the early going for Wes Gilbert and Dennis Holdren. The race saw 7 cautions and 1 red flag. Time of race, exactly 56 minutes. Coming up next will be Sportsman, twin race number 1. And again, as I mentioned, along with Bob Dillner, I'm Wesley Out.